Yeah. Welcome to the main event. Main event. Let's get ready to rumble. Nothing can make me crumble. Take a step into the jungle. It's war where the lions roar. The moment you've been waiting for. It's time to leave the locker room. I'm breaking through the door. Power. Cameras flashing. Who gon' win is what they asking. I'm hard as steel with cardio that's everlasting. Fact is, I'm just better than you. I'm surprised you made it here. Standing with me as the final two. Welcome to the main event. Let the lights go down, and when the smoke clears, I'ma show you how. I can tell we gonna meet again. You leaving with a frown, me, I'm leaving with the crown. How you like me now? Welcome to the main event.
There was bedlam in the Bronx last night. 50 million fans have now come through the stadium doors, and this batch got to see something special. Austin Wells helped power a 10-run frame against the best bullpen in baseball as the Bombers even the series. And tonight it's the rubber game between the Yankees and Padres at Yankee Stadium. Great to have you with us tonight on Prime. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Final game of this three-game series. It's been exciting, certainly exciting in that seventh inning last night. The excitement tonight stems from what could be a really good pitching matchup, Max Fried against Dylan Cease.
And Max Fried for the Yankees, Bob, when they signed him to the largest contract that any team has ever given a lefty, they were hoping that every 5 days when the man comes around and he walks to the mound, that they would get an ace, and that is exactly what they have gotten. He's undefeated in 7 starts this year. He has been real. He has been resounding. He has been remarkable. He's an artist out there on the mound, so entertaining to watch. And, Bob, if he is able to secure a win tonight, he would be only the 3rd Yankee starter in the last 70 years to get 7 wins in his first 8 starts as a Yankee.
We're going to talk a lot more about Max Fried coming up here, but right now let's get it out to the stadium. Justin Shackle standing by with the clubhouse report. And you and I will talk about Fried in just a minute. He's a great story. There's no doubt about that. But we got to talk about what happened in that 7th inning last night as the Yankees, Justin, really want to ride that wave of a 10-run inning into tonight's game as well.
Yeah, Bob, their highest scoring inning in a decade for the Yankees occurred last night in the 7th inning. But something else also occurred that inning. And also go back further, or I should say earlier in the night, because Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill, they made the astute observation during a mound visit with Clark Schmidt and Austin Wells. And the entire Yankee infield, if you paid close attention, everybody on that mound were homegrown Yankees. Then in that 7th inning, 6 of the 7 hits the Yankees recorded were from homegrown players. So something that you probably don't think about in the moment while you're on the field or in the dugout competing, but when the goal is to consistently field a title contending team while simultaneously building a strong foundation from within, that is a rare sight. So today I asked Aaron Boone what those small moments mean to him and the Yankees organization.
I love it. There's no question that, you know, a lot of key players now on this 2025 team are homegrown guys that we're counting on heavily, that we feel like have, in a lot of cases, continue to get better and better. And in a lot of those cases, feel like they have a chance to be central figures for us for a long time. So, yeah, it's great.
You know, Anthony Volpe told me today about those moments. When you take a look at that, every player there, they did and experienced everything together. So to be able to now perform on the biggest stage, it means everything. And he even pointed to the other side of the field with Padres pitcher Randy Vasquez. He was a piece going back to San Diego in the Juan Soto trade. Volpe said everybody on that field at some point or another played with at least one other guy on the field. And when he came into the system, the one thing he looks at the big league level, remember he turned pro in 2018, 2019, he looked up, and when you take a look at homegrown Yankees, Volpe said he saw Aaron Judge, he saw Gary Sanchez, but not too many others, when the big picture goal obviously is to get to the big leagues. But once you're in the Yankee system, you want to do it as a Yankee. So he loves the direction that the organization has gone in here, where the message has now become clear. If you perform, you have a chance to make a difference. And Volpe said he hopes those small moments perhaps instill a bit more belief, not like any player needs it down below, but maybe an extra belief that you can make a difference up here as a New York Yankee as well.
Well, the Yankees certainly have proven they do a great job scouting, getting those homegrown players, but the scouts also have to go and find the perfect fit free agent-wise, and they seem to have found that in tonight's starter, Max Fried, who, as Jack said, is almost off to an historical start, especially if he can get another win tonight, Justin.
Yeah, 1.01 ERA, Bob. It is the best ERA in the American League. Fried hasn't allowed a run in his last 24 1/3 innings, and tonight he's going to try and become the first pitcher in the big leagues to 7 wins. And Boone was asked earlier, what has made Fried so dominant to begin his Yankee career?
Well, he's got really good stuff, and the movement qualities of his pitches and the amount of them. So the unpredictability to really sell out with a guy more than you, or less than you would with most other pitchers that, typically, say, a normal starter that has that 3, maybe 4 pitch arsenal. And then there's no really true straight fastball he's given you. So it's sinker. His 4-seam will register sometimes, but it's always cutting and moving. And then the variance in the pitch speeds, like it's the really big slow curveball that's a important pitch for him, change up and sweeper. So he's got, a range of probably, 25 miles an hour that he'll change speeds on all of his pitches, and they're all moving in different directions. So he's really tough to square up.
I jokingly asked Boone if he started to sleep better before or after the day Max Fried takes the ball for the Yankees. He said mostly after the starts are in the books, but he said any day that Max Fried takes the ball, it's become an exciting day, Bob.
Well, he goes deep into games too, Justin, so usually when he's on the mound, they don't need a lot of bullpen. But overall for the Yankees, the bullpen has been very solid so far. We've always talked about this too, Justin. They're going to get reinforcements coming up down the line, guys who started the season on the IL. Jonathan Loaisiga is one of those. What's the latest on him?
Well, as we're speaking, Bob, Jonathan Loaisiga just completed a 2nd inning of work in his rehab appearance with AAA, and the goal for the Yankees with Jonathan Loaisiga is to get him built up in this rehab stint with the Rail Riders to the point where he can go pitch on back-to-back days at the end of next weekend. And Boone said that the reports that they've received on Loaisiga have been great. He is really excited to get him back into this bullpen. And the big reason why, well, it's going to be a significant boost. We know Loaisiga's track record, and he said once Lowe is back in the bullpen, opposing hitters, watch out.
Well, Lowe at his best has been a killer. He's, I think back to the 22 playoff where him and Wandy over there just were so integral in that first series. So he's just, he's a righty killer with that really good sinker, but he's also really good against lefties because he got the good changeup, the breaking ball, the slider, whatever is always, a decent pitch for him too, but a really good athlete on the mound. He's, healthy, locked in Johnny Lowe is like an impactful guy back there.
One other note on a player on the injured list, that's Giancarlo Stanton. He met with reporters this afternoon in the clubhouse. Stanton said that the pain in his elbow is still there. I should pluralize that. In both elbows, the pain is still there, and it's not going to be going anywhere, but it is manageable. Bottom line, Stanton said that when he is on the field, there will be no levels of anything in terms of pain, and I think it illustrates just how much of a gamer Giancarlo Stanton is. He said that there is still no target date just yet for an impending rehab appearance up and down the Yankees minor league system, but he said it's likely that he will need to get into some games, Bob.
All right, sounds good. Justin, thank you for that. Look forward to seeing you in just a bit with Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill. We got to take our first break here on the pregame show. Coming up, we'll look back at that monster homegrown 7th inning, as well as what the Bombers can expect against Dylan Cease in the series finale. So stay with us on Prime.
field. It is a base hit. Going for two is Dominguez. He'll make it. The throw is wild. Line drive. It's a base hit to center field. Base hit. Right field. It's an RBI single for Wells. We're tied at 3. 3-0. There's no place to put Grisham. Ball 4. The Yankees lead 4-3. It's a big 2-run double for Rice. And the Yankees lead 6-3. And an RBI single for Bellinger. And the Yankees pouring it on. Lead 7-3. And off the glove of Machado. It's an RBI single for Volpe. And it's 8-3 Yankees. Runners go. Drill deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. A grand slam. The Yankees lead 12-3.
This is the best offensive inning that the Yankees have had all year.
A 10-run 7th inning.
So many highlights of that 7th inning last night. We were able to fit them all on one page. Austin Wells, RBI and a grand slam. First Yankee with 5 or more RBI in a single inning since Alex Rodriguez in 2009. Most runs in a single inning since 2015, and 10 of 13 batters reached and scored on 4 singles, 2 doubles, a home run, and 3 walks. As we take a look at the Yankees lineup for tonight's game, it's Ben Rice DHing in the leadoff spot. Aaron Judge is out in right field, 4 for 10 in his career off Dylan Cease with 2 doubles and a homer. His on-base streak at 32 games. Anthony Volpe, last 10 games, 6 extra base hits and 6 runs batted in. And as for Wells, want to single him out. 5 runs batted in and that, but he's in the 3-hole tonight, so a little bump up for him right there right after Aaron Judge.
And you look at what he was able to do in that inning, Bob, and Aaron Boone discussed this after the game. There was one at-bat where he jumped on the first pitch right there, rifling that single to right field and helping the Yankees tie the score at that point. And then this was a more prolonged at-bat against Peralta, who throws sinker, slider, changeup. And when he was able to get that 3-2 changeup, Wells turns it into a grand slam. So you talk about a 10-run inning, and when a team hasn't done that in a decade, Bob, there are obviously going to be a lot of positives. You just detailed a lot of them. But one of the things that stood out for me was the homegrown element, and Wells was a big part of that. 6 of the 7 hits in that inning from homegrown Yankees, and the greatest homegrown Yankee of them all in the lineup, Aaron Judge, he had an intentional walk in that inning. So I think for the Yankees to see their young players contributing as heavily as they did in that inning, it's just the kind of thing they hope keeps happening again and again and again.
Again, kudos to Damon Oppenheimer, everybody who drafts all these great players. Got to find the right fit for the Yankee system, and they do. Meantime, they go up against Dylan Cease tonight. For Dylan Cease, good year last year, down year this year. He's pitching to an ERA of about 5.5. And, Jack, his four-seam fastball has been very good. In fact, last year, opponents hit just 232 against it, but they're up to 300 this season.
The numbers are up. The average is up. The slugging is up. We also noted that the batting average on balls in play is up. So if you're a glass half full Padres fan, you might say that Dylan Cease is pitching in some bad luck. His career numbers against the Yankees, not very good. His strikeouts are down a bit, Bob. The walks are up a bit. But I look at him as a guy who's not a pitcher with a 5.61 ERA. He's got a really good slider. I think that four-seamer will get better. Those are the 2 pitches this year that he has thrown about 80% of the time. So if you're a hitter going up there to face Cease, I think you go up there with the plan of knowing that, hey, there's a very good likelihood he's going to throw one of these 2 pitches, lock in on a spot in the zone, and then try and do some damage.
Once upon a time, Max Fried was a Padres prospect. Now he's dominating pinstripes. Coming up next on the pregame, we'll talk about how the Southpaw can stay unbeaten. Good to have you back on the Yankees pregame on Prime. Jack's already mentioned the numbers on Max Fried. 6-0, 101 ERA. His ground ball rate and his home runs per 9 all top 5 in the American League. Third pitcher since 1915 with 6 or more wins and a sub-110 ERA through the first 7 starts with the team and a 139 batting average against. And his last start, he just continued a great run. No runs allowed, 7 innings of work, Jack. Allowed just 1 hit in what he and Aaron Boone deemed a bit of a grind.
We've heard that a few times this year, that starts from Max Fried were a grind. Well, look at that line, Bob. Do you know how many pitchers in Major League Baseball would love to have that line and be able to call it a grind? How about 100%? But Max Fried goes out there with so many weapons, including this pickoff, 32 career pickoffs for him. He has the ability to hold that leg up there. He goes out there with so many weapons that he makes it so hard for batters to figure out what he's trying to do to them. Look at the fastball being such a weapon for him this year. Batters hitting only 139 against it. That was a weapon last year. It's been a better weapon this year. And you ask why? I think it's all about location. I think he's locating it up in the zone. I think he's locating it to the corners. And though he throws it 94, as David Cohn would say, he's not a finesse pitcher. We've seen 97 from Max Fried. So when he needs to, he can up the velo on that fastball. The curve, the 12-6 curve that we've talked about, that hasn't been as great as it's going to be, and I think that will come along and be an even bigger weapon for him.
Which speaks volumes, right? Coming off a 1-hit shutout. Let's take a look at the Padres lineup that he will face tonight. Fernando Tatis Jr., he's 4 for 7 off Fried. Luis Arraez 6 for 10. Manny Machado just 2 for 18. Machado, by the way, along with Tatis, Merrill, and Sheets, each had 2 hits in the opener. Now, Max Fried did face them last year as a member of the Braves, and that was a playoff outing on October 2nd. That was a rough one for him.
Right. When your season ends against a specific team, you're always going to remember that. I'm not saying that Max Fried can get total revenge tonight because there's difference between a postseason game and a regular season game. But Max Fried is in a new city. He's on a new team. He wants to continue to flourish for the Yankees. And I do think there will be a measure of revenge that he can get against this Padres lineup. He knows what didn't work for him in that October start, and he will do his best to make sure that everything that comes out of his hand works for him tonight. He gets baseballs hit on the ground. He gets soft contact hit against him. And even though he's not the dominant strikeout pitcher that a lot of aces are, he is an ace who goes out there with a plan and executes it.
We got to take one more break here on the pregame on Prime, and that means there's just enough time to grab a quick bite to eat before first pitch. We're back with some final thoughts coming up here on Prime. The Gotham Sports app is your new home for streaming live Yankees games and so much more, and it's free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit gothamsports.com to get streaming. You always want to tune in anywhere you can to see Aaron Judge, and he is on an historic pace. Through the first 36 team games, a player with 12 or more home runs, 56 or more hits, and a 1275 OPS. He is one of only 5 players, Jack, ever, and the others are in the Hall of Fame.
Bob, we talk so much about everything that Judge has done, and we've had the Babe Ruth and the Lou Gehrig comparison and Barry Bonds. That graphic hit me when you look at those 4 names that he is being associated with in Fox, Mantle, Aaron, and Mays. You're talking about some of the heavyweights in baseball history, and then airs Aaron Judge matching exactly what they were doing to this point in the season. It just speaks again to the remarkable run that he is on. Won an MVP last season and is already pushing to make sure it's back-to-back.
32-game on-base streak going into tonight's series finale between the Yankees and the Padres. We thank you for joining us on the pregame on Prime. Coming up right after this, it's Michael Kay, Paul O'Neill with the call, Justin Shackle reporting. Justin, Jack, and I will see you on the postgame show on Yes immediately after. Enjoy the ball game. Padres, Yankees, next on Prime.
Max Fried has been lights out this season. Not only has he exceeded expectations, but he has been one of the best pitchers in the American League. Swinging and a miss, got him. 11 strikeouts. It's a brilliant 7 innings by Max Fried. Fried hasn't given up a run in his last 3 starts and is going for his league-leading 7th win. Fried has been brilliant again. 7 shutout innings, just 1 hit. But tonight, facing the Padres, it will be no easy task. Fernando Tatis and Manny Machado, they're superstars numbers for a reason.
Tatis just too good of a hitter. Machado knows how to hit.
Two powerhouse lineups face off for one prime showdown. It's Game 3 of the Padres and Yankees, and it's all coming up next on Prime. Well, it's a beautiful evening here at Yankee Stadium, and it is time for baseball as Prime presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the San Diego Padres in the rubber game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. You want to win a series, you want to stop a losing streak, you want to go to your ace. And the Yankees have their ace on the mound, Max Fried. He has been, in a word, magnificent.
Some kind of year he's had. I mean, if you look at his career numbers, he's been a winner his whole career. But what he has done this year, absolutely phenomenal. 6-0, 1.01 ERA. And, yeah, he was the pitcher of the month. He does everything. He's got a great curveball, throws strikes, and he knows how to win. He has done everything the Yankees could possibly hope for.
Now, take a look at these numbers, a deeper dive. 7-0 record the Yankees are on Fried starts. The sixth pitcher in Yankees history to do that. 6 wins, 1.01 ERA. Third pitcher in Major League Baseball since 1913 to hit those numbers, and he gets a lot of ground balls as well. Now, he'd like a lot of runs to help him out. Why wouldn't he? And yesterday in the 7th inning, the Yankees scored 10 runs to beat the Padres 12-3. And right in the middle of it, some of their young players who have really been doing a good job.
Well, that inning was special to me. I think I don't know if you're going to see an inning like that the rest of the year. And, yeah, Ben Rice was a big part of it. He came up against a lefty and had a good swing. 2-run double down the line. Ben Rice has been hot lately. And Austin Wells, you know what? He's been a good player for the Yankees this past season and a half. And it really came together. Big hit right here. First grand slam of his career. There's something to cheer about there, Michael. What an inning.
There was a lot to cheer about, and then when you look at the numbers for Ben Rice, 17 of his 29 hits have gone for extra bases, 4 doubles last 5 games. And as for Wells, that 5 ribby 7th inning, 5th Yankee to do that since 1961, 5 or more ribbies in 1 inning. Hey, you see those two guys, you see that guy. The Yankee farm system has been doing the job, producing players that are helping them win games. When we come back, Justin Shackle on the field with Yankee manager Aaron Boone next on Prime.
Welcome back to Yankees baseball on Prime. We are moments away from first pitch here in the Bronx as the Yankees close out their 3-game set and play the rubber game against the San Diego Padres. Hey, everybody, it's Justin Shackle. Yankees are about to take the field, and Aaron Boone, the Yankee skipper, kind enough to give us a few moments. Max Fried going tonight, looking to become the first pitcher in the big leagues to 7 wins. What has he meant to this team, especially on nights like tonight where the series up for grabs?
Yeah, he's been terrific. You know, everything we could have hoped for and more, and been a great guy in our room and kind of immersing himself in our culture, and then he's been terrific on the mound for us, and hopefully he can go out and have another good one tonight.
Dylan Cease starts for San Diego. Opponents are hitting .285 off of him thus far. What can your offense do to keep pressure on him?
Well, hopefully that continues. There's not much difference between him now and the great pitcher he's been in his career. So I expect him to go on and have a good year. So we know we have our work cut out for us. It's the same stuff, high-end stuff that he poses out there. And hopefully though, we can get to him a little bit and make it tough.
Aaron, thanks for the time. Best of luck.
Bet.
Back up to you guys.
Well, thank you to Aaron, and thank you to Justin as well. So we're moments away from first pitch here at the stadium. Then the Yankees will be traveling tomorrow, and they'll have a 3-game set against the Athletics in Sacramento and 3 against the Mariners in Seattle. And those flights, I've always found, Paul, they're a lot shorter when they're coming off wins.
Yeah, it seems. I'm sorry. We got new headphones up here. Now you really turned it up, and I do agree with you, Michael. Once you get on those planes after a tough loss, it's a long flight. You know, when things are going well, you have a lot of fun. It just makes the flights that much easier. How many times was I talking there, Michael, before I turned my mic on?
Just a couple times.
Just a
but
couple.
The first time I used the new thing, yeah, because you didn't have the mic turned up.
Well, you get 3 strikes in baseball. You know, I only use 2 of them.
That's right. You're fine. You are absolutely fine. The Yankees are fine when Max Fried is on the mound. We detailed that. Fried has been everything that you could have imagined. The Yankees signed him as a free agent. Obviously, he was going to be the second starter behind Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole goes down. The Yankees need an ace. You know what, Paul? He's lived up to that in every which way.
You know what? I looked at his career stats, and we were talking about it in the pregame. I mean, he has a phenomenal career. Win-loss records, ERA, everything. So really not that much of a surprise. But again, to be able to step in as the ace of the Yankee staff when Garrett Cole goes down, it's been fun to watch.
Now, how much do you think that guy wants to play? He misses it so much. He says he tries not to think about what he's missing because it makes him sad, so I try to stay away from sad things. But when you've been a player at the level that he's been a player, and all of a sudden the game is taken away from you, Paul, it's got to be very painful.
Yeah, and he had a little stint last year to begin the year, so he kind of went through it. And then, I remember talking to him on the field. He was chomping at the bit to get back out there. But this is a long process. I mean, you're looking at a year of rehab and missing and, wondering. After a certain time, you start wondering, am I going to be this? Am I going to be that? Garrett Cole's going to be fine, but it's going to take some time.
And obviously, he said that he's going to be able to pick up a ball and throw a ball for the first time in August, but it's usually a 14-month recovery, so he will be coming back next year right around this time. So Max Fried takes his 6-0 record out to the mound. He's beginning his warm-ups. He's going to face Fernando Tatis Jr. first. This is the entire Padres starting order, or batting order. Tatis, Arise, and Machado at the top. Merrill, Bogarts, and Sheets in the middle. And then Oscar Gonzalez, Jose Iglesias, and Martin Maldonado round out the 9 for the Padres with Dylan Cease on the mound for San Diego. On the mound for the Yankees, we mentioned it. We've detailed it. Max Fried, 7 starts. Yankees have won all 7. He's won 6 of them. 39 strikeouts in 44 and 2/3 innings. He's not a flamethrower. He's a pitcher. He has a lot of things out there that he can go to, and let's look at the pitcher scouting report.
Well, you can look at the numbers. We talked about it. I mean, 6-0 with a 1.01. Yeah, what else can you possibly do as a starting pitcher? And only 5. He's only given up 5 earned runs in all year in 7 starts. It really has been amazing. And yeah, I got some more, still more. He was named the American League pitcher for the month of April and May, or March and April, where he was 5-0.
And he has the lowest ERA in Yankee history through his first 7 starts. Not too bad, 1.01. And it's pretty special, especially in the league where there are a lot of home runs. Jason Dominguez in left field for the Yankees. Cody Bellinger in center. Aaron Judge over in right. In the infield, will go third to first. Cabrera, Volpe, Vivas, and Goldschmidt. Austin Wells behind the plate. Ben Rice, the DH. And Max Fried is on the mound. Padres come in at 23-12 after the game. They will fly to Colorado to complete their 10-day, 9-game road trip. Yankees come in at 20-16. Yankees in first place in the East, and the Padres in second place in the National League West behind the Dodgers by a half game. So you're all set. Padres won the first game. Yankees won last night. Tatis ready. Fried ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch, foul back. We're underway. Ramon De Jesus, the home plate umpire. Paul Clemens at first. The crew chief, Adrian Johnson at second. Quinn Wolcott is over at third. A strange stat. Tatis, a right-handed hitter, and he's hitting 189 against left-handed pitching this year.
And that's this year. And the weird thing about it is he's pretty much been 50-50 over the years against lefties and righties.
Yep, 282 against both sides. Fouled away. Tatis is off to a good start. Has a 2.3 WAR, and coming into action today, the only National Leaguer with a better WAR, the Mets first baseman Pete Alonso with a 2.4. Last time Fried was on the mound, May 2nd against Tampa Bay. 7 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, didn't allow a run. The 2-2. Foul back. Yesterday, the Padres had their 6-game winning streak snap, but they're still tied at 23-12 with the 1998 Padre team for the best start in San Diego history. The 2-2. Swing and miss. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. 1 away. All right, Paul, it's time for the keys to the game.
Well, 8 would be great. The Yankees are 7-0 in Fried's start, so you might as well make it 8. A little short. Cruz and Hill probably not available in the bullpen, but you got Weaver, Hamilton, Leiter. He's still got a lot of guys to go to and hang 10. You just got to hope that that 7th inning last night kind of rolls over in today. One of the most impressive innings I've seen. 7 hits, 10 runs. Obviously capped off by Austin Wells. First grand slam of the year and of its career.
1-0 on a rise. Yankees have held him down in the first 2 games, 0 for 6. Curveball drops in for a strike, 1-1. And there's a strike. Let's check out the home plate umpire, Ramon De Jesus. Pitcher friendly. More strikes up and down. More inside strikes on lefty batters. And he is in his 10th big league season.
Well, I think Arise just saw that. The ball down and away. Called a strike. Arise 1 strikeout last night. We talked about it. Just does not strike out a lot.
3 strikeouts, 126 plate appearances. 2-2. Padres looking for their first series win ever in the Bronx. They have played 4 previous series, 0-4. Grounded first base, Goldschmidt. Flips to Fried. 2 outs.
The San Diego organization looks out on the mound and thinks, what if? What would have happened? Because, when Max Fried was drafted originally by the San Diego Padres.
And he's from California, too. But they dealt him to Atlanta. Here's Manny Machado. Misses outside. 1-0. One and one. Machado riding a 7-game hitting streak, hitting .407 over that stretch, 11 for 27. This is a 105th game that he's played against the Yankees in his career. Has 22 home runs against them. And over that time, the only player with more, Rafael Devers of the Red Sox, with 28 home runs. Ground ball right side and through for a base hit for Machado.
What makes Machado so good is he'll use all parts of the field, and Fried's not going to give you anything down the middle of the plate. So you're inside out, looking to go the other way. He finds a hole on the right side.
Here's Jackson Merrill. Later in the game, let's say the lights go out. I think you will be able to see Machado's spikes. I think they're neon.
I think he's planning on them, the lights, huh?
Pretty amazing stuff. Now Machado has to be careful, as Fried has just an extraordinarily good move to first base. It's 2017, 32 pickoffs, more than anybody. And the players marvel at it, the way he can balance with his leg up. And the runner has no idea if he's going home or going to first. Left center, long run for Bellinger, and he holds it in on the warning track for the final out. And Fried breathes a sigh of relief. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. Padres nothing. Yankees coming to bat. All right, Padres don't score in the top of the first. Now it's the Yankees' turn. We'll take a look at their batting order. Ben Rice, Aaron Judge, and Austin Wells. That's the top three. Cleaning up, Paul Goldschmidt, followed by Cody Bellinger, and then Anthony Volpe. And the bottom third of the order, Jason Dominguez. He got that 10-run inning started with a hustle double. Oswaldo Cabrera and Yorby Vivas. Captain's waiting. He comes up after Rice. Dylan Cease is the man they'll face. This is his 8th start. Unusual numbers for him. He's one of the top pitchers in the game, but so far that has not been the case, so we'll take a look at the scouting report.
Well, you just said it, Michael. He's off to a slow start. It's a 5.61 ERA, and you got to realize this guy was in the top 4 of the Cy Young 2 out of the last 3 years. So he has good stuff. He knows how to pitch. You got to wait him out. He's averaging 19 pitches an inning, which is a lot. Not getting deep into the game at all for the Padres. And you got to remember, look slider. 47% of his pitches are sliders. That's his 2nd highest in the major leagues to Chris Sale.
The defense behind him, Gonzalez, Merrill, and Tatis. Left to right. Infield, Machado, Bogarts, Iglesias, and Arias. Maldonado behind the plate. Gavin Sheets, the DH. Rice takes inside. Last year was Cease's first season in San Diego. Had a 3.47 ERA. Made 33 starts. And he did finish 4th last year in the Cy Young behind Chris Sale, Zach Wheeler, and Paul Skeens. 1-1. Right in on the hands, foul back.
You see those first 3 pitches, all fastballs, all 97 miles an hour. So we talked about his slider, but it plays off a good fastball at 97.
You know, he knows that he struggled, and he said, I definitely got to improve, but I feel optimistic about it. I think I've kind of narrowed it down to something mechanical, so I'm working on it. And he's important for the Padres, and it's important for himself because this is his walk year. He's a free agent after the season, 29 years old. Shattered bat looped into center field, but backing up is Bogarts to make the play. Now let's take a look at what Cease throws. His arsenal on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud.
Well, you see it. I mean, throws a ton of sliders, 4-seam fastball, knuckle curve. So, you know, it's basically 4-seam fastball and a really, really good slider.
He pitches better at home than he does on the road this season. By a lot. Here's Aaron Judge.
Well, you see 2 pitchers here, 2 good pitchers that are very deliberate, slow windups. You know, nothing's in a hurry out there for Fried or Cease.
So Judge with 12 home runs, tied for the most home runs in Major League Baseball. Now, Judge had a home run against his former teammate Michael King yesterday. extended his on-base streak to 32 straight, and during that time, a .413 batting average, .503 on-base percentage, and 17 extra base hits. And down goes Judge. 2 away.
It looks like Dylan Cease is going to go after hitters with his fastball and then put them away with this slider. Got ahead of both hitters with fastballs and then went to the slider.
Wells takes a strike. Wells with 5 ribbies in that 10-run 7th inning for the Yanks. And he's only the 5th Yankee to have 5 or more RBIs in an inning since 1961. Mattingly did it in '87, Tino in '05, Bobby Abreu in '06, A-Rod in '09, and Wells yesterday.
You know, you look at that, it's 2 hits in an inning and a grand slam, and you know, Fernando Tatis Jr., his father, one of the most amazing things I ever saw was he had 2 grand slams in an inning. I mean, it's just, that doesn't happen.
Ground at second base. Iglesias makes the play, and the Yankees go down in order against Dylan Cease. We'll go to the 2nd. 0-0. Well, stream every out-of-market game live or on demand, plus stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Finally have nice weather, Paul.
Quick, look at that. Sun shining here in the Bronx.
Bogarts will lead off against Fried. So Jackson Merrill ended the 1st inning by driving the ball to the warning track in left center, and you know you're a good pitcher when you're upset with an out that was hit too hard.
Yeah,
you can see it on Fried's face.
Lefty on lefty, gave him a pitch, and a really good play by Bellinger. Easy out to Cabrera. If you think about it, Michael, I mean, Fried is pitching with such confidence. I mean, he's not pitching around people. He's not getting behind hitters. Just consistently getting ahead, throwing strikes with all of his pitches. And, you know, he's not looking to blow people away, strike people out. He'd like to see, you know, just as many ground balls as he gets. You know, first pitch swings, ground ball out. Let's go. Let's get my offense back in there.
Well, with the scoreless 1st inning, he's now at 0.98 for the season, leading the American League. .2.
I think that it even included the out right there. I
think
mean,
it did. Yes.
How quick can update stuff. You know that?
They've got a little computer there that does this.
That does it for him. James does this stuff in his head up here. You know, that's the impressive stuff.
Now, kind of odd to see Sheets in the game against the lefty Fried. It's his first start of the season against the left-hander, and he has 387 career starts, only 21 of them against lefties. 1-2. Check swing. Quinn Walcott agrees. Now they have Diaz and Lockridge as the only other righties on the bench. Swing and a miss. Sheets down on strike. Second strikeout for Fried.
That looked like a lefty looking for a breaking ball, and all of a sudden you figure out it's a fastball, late swing, just try to foul it off. Didn't happen. It's kind of a cutter right there, but still had the velocity.
(2-0) on Oscar Gonzalez. You can see Fried calls his own game, but he works in concert with Wells, who sometimes will disagree with him and say, no, we should go with this. And they both seem to be on the same page. They're in lockstep, and he gives Wells a lot of credit to get him through some of these games. A catcher can do that sort of thing even if the pitcher is calling the game.
Mm-hmm.
Got a pretty live fastball. But Boone was talking today, what makes him so effective, and sometimes you have 20 miles per hour between the speed of some pitches. Fastball and the really slow nose to toes curve that he drops in. Three and two.
Gonzalez actually in the Yankees minor league system last year. He hit .294 with the Rail Riders. His third year in the major leagues, 2 with Cleveland. This is his first year here in San Diego.
Swing and a miss. 1-2-3 inning for Fried. He strikes out 2 in the inning, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and Volpe coming up. We walk with Paul Goldschmidt into the batter's box. Up close and personal here on Prime. Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and Volpe against Cease. .351 batting average. Great start. Oh and 1. Now, this is going to blow your mind, Paul. So you see Dylan Cease wears number 84. Not a typical baseball number, but he is into meditation and yoga, and he wears 84 because that's the number of poses in yoga. He calls it a shout out to yoga spirituality.
Okay. Out of those 84, Michael, how many do you think you and I could get? Maybe 2 or 3?
You mean physically be able to do? I like your number being higher than mine. Swing and a miss. Goldschmidt down on strikes.
Boy, I talked so much about his slider, and now he's starting to really find it. You see another one, a really tight slider. Not a ton of break, but just very hard to pick up for a hitter. But he started this game by establishing his fastball, and now he's starting to work on his slider, especially against the righties.
Here's Bellinger. Bellinger pushing his average up. He's at 205. Last 12 games hitting 262, 11 for 42, 2 home runs, 373 on base percentage. Ground ball to first, Arise. He'll take it himself. 2 down. And that brings up Anthony Volpe. Anthony's been very hot of late. Last 10 games, he's hitting 333. 12 for 36.
Came to the plate with the Freebird, the jam part of it. Is that normal? I don't remember hearing that.
No, I have not heard. And the players do choose their walk-up.
Oh, yeah. You know who started that? Jeter started it. And, you know, we all pick music, but Jeter would, like, pick his by the day. You know, it was like a DJ.
I think he also picked it by the at-bat, too.
Mm-hmm.
So was yours Baba O'Reilly for the entire Yankee career?
I think it came along a little later. I always used, you know, a couple of songs that were my favorites, but then the Bob O'Reilly really just, I used to work out to it, still do. That song just meant a lot to me. I don't know why. So give me your number one. I mean, if you're coming to the plate, what do you come to you? You got to have some Bruce or something, right?
No, you're going to laugh.
Don't
Build
say
me a Buttercup.
But I was just going to say, I wish at your wedding your favorite song was Buttercup. Come on. That's what you're coming to the plate to?
It'll get me in a good headspace.
All right.
Or maybe Glory Days.
Yeah, I figured you'd get some Swenson in there.
But if you're having a really tough time, Glory Days is the wrong song.
Yeah, exactly.
It does say they'll pass you by.
Yeah, the speedball, you're not going to catch up to it.
He actually wrote that song because he ran into a guy that was on his high school baseball team. And they hadn't seen each other for a while. He was walking in, I was walking out. And they went in and had a drink.
Nice.
And then he wrote it about the guy who just like a month ago passed away. 3-2. Well, Cease looks sharp. Guy comes in with a 5.61 ERA. That's not the first 2 innings that we're watching. We go to the third, 0-0 at the greatest city in the world. Well, it's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Tonight's picture is from Terry, who brought his son Ryan to the game on Saturday. It looks like the rest of the family was there as well. Hope they had a good time. Probably did. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post your picture to social media to reflect your love for the Yankees, and we might spotlight you in a future game.
You always give the hope there. We might just,
That's right.
Just show you.
What's life about if it's not about hope?
That's right.
Here's Iglesias. Jose spoke to the media before the game, and he said that he was totally shocked and disappointed that the Mets did not make an offer for him to come back after the great season he had last year. Hit .337 with the Mets. But we talk about analytics, and for some reason, he is not a darling of the analytics crowd. They just don't think that his underneath the hood numbers, work out. Also, the Mets wanted to keep their young players as their utility people, and they have options left. They want to be able to maneuver. They didn't want to lock into a veteran that would have to stay up the whole year. The 1-2. Ground ball, grabbed it by Cabrera, and it gets the hustling Iglesias for the first out.
Well, Michael, as we sit up here and kind of talk, these pitchers are kind of making things look easy. Both sides.
Well, certainly two marquee pitchers. Fried has been outstanding all year. Cease has struggled, but the first 2 innings he looks terrific. One and 0. You know, one of the things that scared teams off about Iglesias, hit .337 last year, but his BABIP, the batting average on balls in play, was .382. It's .314 for his career, so luck was in his corner last year.
Acuna's brother, little brother, I mean, that was one of the big prospects that you were talking about the Mets want to play, right?
Luis Angel, yes, he's been great. The 2-1. 2-2. Tatis on deck. And the lefty deals. Swing and a miss. Fourth strikeout for Fried.
Well, you'd say, you know, Max Fried has his really good stuff tonight, but he's basically had his really good stuff every time out this year. From a lot more cutters so far. Another one right there, trying to get it down and in. Got it in enough to get another strikeout.
Tatis was his first strikeout victim, started the game with a strikeout.
And then every once in a while you'll see that. I mean, after the cutter and the curveball, then you'll see a four-seamer come out of the zone there, but 97.
Well, he's got the full arsenal. That's why he's tough to solve for a hitter. There's so many weapons he could throw at you. He's not one of the, you know, three-pitch pitchers types. Three and 0.
Again, 2 outs. You still got to be careful here. You get a rise on deck, but obviously Tatis 3-0. 2 outs. He's got the green light if he wants it.
He wanted it. Fouled it back. He got the fastball. Now 3-2. Tatis got thrown out of the game on Monday. It was his first career ejection. Popped up shallow right. Bebos goes a long way to haul it in for the final out. 7 in a row retired by Fried. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Well, the NBA is coming to prime with exclusive coverage of more than 60 regular season games. The cut, play-in, playoff coverage, league pass, and more. The NBA on Prime. It all starts this October. 0-0. As we go to the bottom of the third, Cease has been perfect. 6 up, 6 down over the first 2. Dominguez will start it off here in the third. Dominguez started that 10-run 7th inning with a ball hit into the left center field gap. He was batting right-handed, and he hustled it into a double, running hard right out of the box. And you see a play like that, and you see what all the excitement is about with his skill set.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you think about what he is on paper. It's a switch hitter. He's got great speed. He's got great power. It's just a time that, you know, you can put it all together, and that's the player that you're trying to get.
Count. 2-2. Now, a lot of Cease's trouble this year could be poor Babbitt luck. His strikeouts are down, and his walks are up, but nothing crazy. And the fielding independent pitching is similar to last year's. But his batting average on balls in play is .375, way higher than the .289 Major League average, and up over 100 points from his Babbitt last year. So he might not have luck on his side early. And there's the Yankees' first base runner.
You're on schedule for 9 Babbitts. We're at the bottom of the third. I've heard Babbitt 3 times already.
If I ever have a third child, I might name him Babbitt.
Babbitt?
Yeah.
Huh?
Babbitt K. Remember the player Shooty Babbitt?
No.
Yeah, Oakland A's really fast.
Shooty Babbitt.
Shooty Babbitt. Here's Oswaldo Cabrera. He's due. He's 0 for his last 15. Line drive right field, and Tatis makes the play. Took a base hit away. When you're slumping, sometimes luck's not on your side.
Well, I tell you what, though, I mean, if you watch him day in and day out, and this is only the 3rd game we've seen, I mean, he gets great jumps. He's got a great arm. Remember, he was a shortstop at one time. Just an athletic player that has a gift to do pretty much everything on the baseball field. Kind of breaks your heart as a hitter, Michael. You know, you hit it hard, you think everything's going good, and the next thing you know, somebody slides in and steals it from you.
Bibas takes the ball. You know, the leadoff walk by Dominguez is impressive because this is a young player, and he has a 12% walk rate. That's 20th in the American League. Usually young players are cutting and slashing up there. He's got a good eye and patience. 1-1. Ben Rice on deck. Bottom of the 3rd, rubber game of this 3-game set. Slider, looked like it was in the dirt. 2-2.
I still think that Bibas, if you watch him, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday with him wrapping the bat as he starts, it's just going to make his swing a little long, where he's going to be late on the fastball, and then he's going to have to kind of cheat to get to it, and then you're going to see those kind of swings with the ball in the dirt.
And that's catcher's interference. He got a piece of Maldonado's glove. So a walk, and then catcher's interference, which is also an E2. The Yankees have first and second, 1 out.
Well, it was a slider, and it looked like, he got his foot down, and the ball wasn't there yet. Again, this was going to be a strikeout, so very fortunate to make a little contact with Maldonado's glove.
I mean, the ball was in the glove when he started to swing.
Yeah, he was a little tardy on that one.
Wow. What am I supposed to do? Rice hits one to right center. Merrill make the catch, tagging Dominguez. Throw comes to second. It's Aaron Judge. Struck out in the first inning. The stadium on a Wednesday night. Finally nice weather. Yesterday the Yankees passed 50 million fans that have come to the new ballpark, which opened in 2009. 0-1 on the slider.
It was really weird today, Mike. I ran over to the deli to, get some stuff to bring to the ballpark, and there were kids everywhere. It was like school out early today, or was the sunshine? They just took the day off. I mean, we were talking baseball, we were talking the Yankees, but there seemed to be kids. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I couldn't figure it out.
Well, I'm baffled because my kids are in school at 1.
No, I saw Charlie there, too.
Well, then he's playing hooky.
He was holding hands with some girl. I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
The 0-2.
Oh, boy.
Cease wanted that one. Doesn't agree with the call by Ramon De Jesus.
Yeah, this was very close. But, over the years, Aaron Judge has had more pitches called on him low than probably anybody in baseball. But Cease knows that he needed that, wanted it.
He got it with a swing and a miss on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 2 men left. Let's go to the 4th. Well, 3 shutout innings, ERA of 0.94. What have you seen from Fried so far?
Well, you pretty much have seen what he's done all year. He throws strikes, he gets ahead, he has good movement, he's got a good fastball tonight, up to 97. But he also has thrown that cutter and his breaking ball, and again, just continually pitching ahead and throwing up zeros.
1-0 on a rise. Grounded to first in the first. 0 for 7 in the series. And a strike.
Yeah, you're seeing the balls just off the plate tonight so far. We talked about Ramon De Jesus behind the plate, being a pitcher's umpire, and you're starting to see some of those balls off the plate being called strikes.
And we told you that Arise 0 for 7 in the series, so that seems strange. 3-time batting champion, but he started the season 0 for 16.
And he came into this series hitting over 300. So, he fought his way back, had a little minor injury, was out for a while. But chances are by the end of the year, he'll be at 300 or better.
Not going to be an easy play. Fried fields and flips with the glove to Goldschmidt for out number 1. Fried is a Gold Glove winner at pitcher.
Wow, I don't know that Paul Goldschmidt expected this, because Fried had to cut this off or it's going to be a base hit. He gets it. You think he might just continue on, but without even going to the glove, just flipped it over. You're right, Michael. That's not an easy play, but the back of that glove's got that gold on it. That tells you that you've done it for a while.
And for those that don't know, if you use a Rawlings glove and it's a Rawlings Gold Glove Award, and you have that gold patch, that means that you've won that coveted award. They will not give it out to somebody who hasn't. On Machado. In fact, he's won it 3 times.
I think Jim Cott, he was in double figures, wasn't he?
16.
16 of them? Yep. Yeah. Kenny was pretty good.
Yep.
He had a good play on our Yes commercial that year, too, huh?
Did the flip.
Yes.
Yep. High fly ball, shallow right. Judge is there.
Just told them Maddox had 18, Michael. So I thought Kitty might have been the most 18 Gold Gloves for Greg Maddux. He could pitch a little bit too.
Yep. Pitch and field. Merrill hits one deep to right field, and it is 1-0 Padres. A bomb into the Yankee bullpen.
And that's his second really good swing. Off a free. Last time in left center field, Cody Bellinger ran it down. This a breaking ball. 417 feet later, 1-0 San Diego.
Well, he jolted that one.
Yeah, breaking ball, and you see it just kind of hung a little bit. Didn't have a lot of bite at the end. Just a perfect pitch for a lefty. Boy, we talked about Merrill. Got off to a great start after a good year last year.
Nice play by Bebas. Gets to his fires. Not in time. Bogarts beat it out.
Good try by Bebas. Bogarts sees that ball in front of him and kind of can figure out how quick he needs to get there. Look at that, Michael. ERA all the way up to 1.12. Huh?
One pitch, one swing. Keeping Bogarts close.
Yeah, Bogarts 6 stolen bases on the year. Tatis leads the team over there with 8, so they do run.
High fly ball right center. Bellinger will put it away. And that'll do it. So Merrill with the home run gives the Padres a 1-0 lead. Well, this year marks Yogi Berra's 100th birthday, and the Yankees have a special giveaway to help commemorate it. On Friday, June 6th, the first 18,000 guests will receive a special Yogi Berra U.S. Navy bobblehead that recognizes his military service, courtesy of State Farm. Tickets are going fast, so get your tickets today at Yankees.com. Well, it's 1-0 Padres on the Merrill home run to the back wall of the Yankee bullpen. Second well-struck ball that he had. The other one was run down in the first inning by Bellinger on the warning track in front of the Padre bullpen. Dylan Cease had not allowed a hit. Couple base runners, though. A walk, and Bebas reached on a catcher's interference. Wells will start it off. High fly ball, right field. Tatis back. And let's see where that ball is. It's in his glove. One away.
I think Tatis playing a game with everybody, including you, Michael. I mean, it looked like it was an easy play, and then he started coasting back to the wall. And it looked like what had stayed in the ballpark anyway, but still.
So here's Goldschmidt, and there's a strike from Cease. Cute.
So that would annoy you if you were hitting. Huh?
I mean, imagine if you ran in front of him while he was hitting.
Yeah.
Grounded third base. Machado fires off balance and gets Goldschmidt for the second out.
Boy, this isn't an easy play. He was playing him towards the hole, and he has to throw across his body about as far as you could throw on a baseball field, and it just threw a strike. Great play.
So here's Bellinger. 1-0. 1-0 Padres. Bottom of the 4th inning. Trying to tie the score right there, 1-1. Two and one on Bellinger. Bellinger grounded out the first and second. Another ground ball to first, booted there by Arise, but he beats Bellinger to the bag for the final out. Yankees don't have a hit through 4. 1-0 Padres. For the win, NWSL takes you inside the high-stakes drama of the 2024 National Women's Soccer League Playoffs and Championship. Exclusive behind-the-scenes moments of soccer icon Alex Morgan and rising star Trinity Rodman. Watch now, only on Prime. We go to the 5th inning. It's 1-0 San Diego. It'll be the bottom third of the order against Max Fried. Gonzalez fouls it back. He struck out in the 2nd inning. Us, right? One and two. Swing and a miss. Curveball. Gonzalez strikes out for the 2nd time against Fried.
Well, last time high fastball, so you need to kind of switch it up a little bit and play the high fastball into a high breaking curveball. Another strikeout.
Grounded foul. Now the Padres have gotten off to a great start, and they've done it without Jake Cronenworth, who's a pretty important player. So tonight is his 24th straight game that he's missed with a non-displaced right rib fracture. But he is expected to rejoin the team Friday in Colorado.
And then it's got Jackson Merrill back, who we were talking about earlier. He's got them on the board tonight. I mean, he is a stud out there in center field. So they just got him back. So they're not all the way healthy. But boy, their pitching has been good, and we've talked numerous times about how good the back end of the bullpen is.
Oh, 2.
I'll tell you one thing, though, Michael. If you are in that division, you got to. There's nothing to give away. You got to win every day to be in competition with LA, the Giants. I think Arizona really hasn't played up to their potential yet. Just a tough division in baseball.
I think you'd have a hard argument saying that there's a better division.
No. Yeah.
From top to bottom.
I agree. You know, so many things change over the years in baseball in every sport. They've realigned the divisions, but do you ever see it going to, just two big leagues and, the best teams get there?
I think they're going to stop and hold off on that until they add 2 more expansion teams. Then if it's 32, I think you might see, I don't know if you go 16 and 16. I think it'll be 4 divisions of 4 teams. But I do believe that you're going to see completely different alignment where it could be the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies, and the Nationals in one division. So I think the American League and the National League as we know it That might change.
Right.
Nothing's set in stone, though. Now, speaking of stone, right behind home plate.
I'm missing something?
Oh, yeah. Someone who has 2 Academy Awards. Emma Stone. For some reason, she's a Padre fan.
Wow, somebody must have given her the hat. You know, let's sit in a Yankee hat down there. That just, no. You don't sit behind home plate.
She's in Lorne Michaels seats.
She's got the old school one. And
Yeah. The Trevor Hoffman one. 2-2. Hit slowly to second. And Iglesias really gets down the line, but Vivas makes the play, 2 away.
again, when guys hustle and they have speed, it puts a lot of pressure on you defensively. You fumble that ball or make a bad throw, and that's just as safe. You see, being out in front of that ball, you get out of the box so much quicker.
Maldonado wraps on the right field. Going back is Judge, and he dropped the ball. Went up the heel of his glove. Now fumbling it, allowing Maldonado to go to second.
Well, the ball was in his glove. He got a great jump on it, and obviously with his height, it helps a lot. Just closed it a little bit too quick. Good news for Max Fried. There's still 2 outs. Still work your way out of this.
That is an E9 on Aaron. And a conference on the mound to settle down Fried. Now, I think, Paul, if you sent down a Yankee hat to Emma Stone, she would have to turn it down. Her husband is a Padre fan.
Okay.
Comedian Dave McCarry.
Well, that is a joke, you know.
Wow.
All right.
So here's Tatis Jr. That one is ripped into left field. It's a base hit. Charging Dominguez. Rounding third is Maldonado. He holds up. The throw comes home. And Tatis goes to second on the throw. Maldonado just doesn't run that well. Otherwise, they would have sent him.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like they were sending him, and I thought Dominguez was going to throw him out by a long shot. Really got to the ball quick, got rid of it quick. See him still waving. You know what? He never did stop him. He never did stop him. He's going to go ahead and challenge. Maldonado said, I don't think I got it in me. Good thing he stopped, because Dominguez had a great throw.
Yeah, Maldonado stopped himself, not Tim Leeper, the third base coach. And there's a strike on Arise. Arise is telling him to slide, not stop.
Slide somewhere, don't stop.
That might have been the best throw that Dominguez has gotten off this year.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
So it's a single, and Tatis advances to second on the throw. So the count 0-2 on Arise. Maldonado at third, Tatis Jr. at second. One and two. No one in this ballpark is rooting harder for an out than Aaron Judge.
Oh, I know. And when you do something in the outfield and you're not accustomed to seeing Aaron Judge make too many mistakes defensively, but you're hoping somehow, some way, somebody can pick you up and you can forget about it.
1-2. He gets another try. This one he puts away with 2 hands, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, 1 error, and 2 men left. We're halfway through. San Diego leads 1-0. Well, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Well, the Yankees came real close to tying this game.
Yeah, again, we've talked about Tatis and how good he is defensively, ex-Gold Glover. And he does a lot of things at the plate. He also does a lot of good things, like the hidden ball trick right there, man.
Yep. Yankees still searching for their first hit. They're trailing 1-0. It'll be Volpe, Dominguez, and Cabrera. And a strike. Tapped in front of the plate. Cease gets Volpe.
Boy, it looks like he's really just had a game plan when he came out tonight. He started with his fastball, now he's working his slider, but he has been dominant. Velocity's up. Slider's been good. We talked about him, you know, in his past 3 or 4 years being one of the top pitchers in the National League. And then he just got off to a slow start, but it looks like he figured something out coming into Yankee Stadium tonight.
One and one. Dominguez, the Yankees' first base runner when he walked in the 3rd. The 1-1. 1-2.
He's got such good velocity with that ball up in the strike zone. That was 99. Just extremely hard for a hitter to catch up to that up in your eyes.
2-2. Padres got ceased last March in a deal for Drew Thorpe, Steven Wilson, Jairo Iriarte, Samuel Zavala. Swing and a miss. Slider. 2 down here in the 5th.
You know, it's very surprising to me, as good as San Diego is and as good as Dylan Cease is, that I don't know if it was rumors or what, but his name was up even like in spring training about being traded.
It all came down to, you know, shedding salary, number 1, and number 2, they probably are not going to re-sign him because he's going to command big money. Cabrera robbed of a hit, sliding catch by Tatis in the 3rd inning. So 0 for 16 for the Yankee 3rd baseman. Check the swing, 2-0. On Oswaldo. There's ball 4. Second walk issued by Cease. Reached on it. Catcher's interference in the 3rd inning. I'm surprised surprised there are not more catchers interference because, I mean, I know everybody has honor, but it looks like an easy ticket to get on base. All you have to do is have a long swing and tick the glove.
Yeah, and it's the tendency for the catcher to want to, follow and reach out to receive the ball. You're always taught, the real good catchers, not to move. And when you start reaching out, then, you get away from your body. It makes it much easier. But there were some players, you look at Ellsbury, remember him?
Yeah.
It was like an art
all the
for
time.
him to do it all the time.
Oh, 0-1. And catcher's interference a lot higher frequency in recent years, and that's because of the framing. As Paul said, they reach out, catchers set up closer. And if you watch the catcher's interference that took place in the third inning, I mean, the ball was in the glove and he started his swing.
Yeah.
And even Maldonado looked, resigned. What can I do? One and two. Cease steps off. Cease has had 5 starts against the Yankees in his career, 6.39 ERA, but tonight it's a different pitcher. 1-2. 2-2. His pitch count's in great shape, just 65 pitches, 2 outs here in the 5th. Swing and a miss. Down goes Bebos. Yankees no hits through 5. 1-0 Padres lead. Well, it was a battle of 2 elite pitchers. Fried against Cease. And they've been dealing filthy stuff all game. One after the other. Setting down tough lineups. One mistake by Fried, a home run. And that's the difference in the game. 1-0 Padres as we go to the 6th inning. And the home run off the bat of Jackson Merrill. Machado leads off. Line drive, base hit to left field. So Machado with 2 hits against Fried.
Last time up away, this time ball kind of in, he'll pull it. I mean, Manny Machado is no stranger to good swings at the plate. He just knows how to hit. He understands, in and out, that he can go the other way. He can pull the ball. He's a good baseball player.
Big cut, 0-1.
Yeah, interesting to see how Merrill's pitched this time. He hit that curveball out for the home run. See Fried getting ahead with hard stuff early here. Go back to the 4th inning and see a hanging curveball. And what'll happen? And he saw Fried's reaction. He knew it was not a good pitch off the back of the bullpen. That's quite a shot.
One and 2.
You watch Fried's reaction. He knows where it's going. It looks like a hanging breaking ball. Yep, it's not coming back.
Swing and a miss. Merrill down on strikes.
Yeah, a lot of times pitchers think, you know, if you hit that curveball out as well as you did, then you're probably looking for it. Everything was hard, and he put him away with a two-seam fastball down and in. It looked like almost a cutter that almost backed up, but everything was hard in the count.
On Bulldogs. Ian Hamilton heating up. Freed at 82 pitches. Two and one.
Just looking around, it doesn't even seem like the same ballpark that it was on Monday night.
Yep.
The drizzle and the haze and the cold. Absolutely beautiful tonight.
Grounded foul. Strike three. Clips the inside corner with a fastball. Two down.
Yeah, that pitcher's pitch just down and in, right on the corner. It's been hit the box, Michael. Yeah, that's kind of flip a coin. Who gets the break? That cut fastball's been very effective for him tonight, both at lefties and righties.
One and 0 on Gavin Sheets. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly ball to center. Strike, 1-1. Fly ball, center field. And that'll do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. We go to the bottom of the sixth. 1-0. Padres lead the Yankees right here on Prime. Well, stream 5 exclusive cup races only on Prime, kicking off with the legendary Coca-Cola 600 on May 25th. Then buckle up for Nashville, Michigan, Mexico City, and finally Pocono. 5 tracks, 5 weeks, NASCAR. It's on Prime. We go to the bottom of the sixth inning, 1-0 Padres. Ben Rice leads off. Well, that was a slider, so now 19 swings against Cease's slider and 12 misses. Been a great pitch for him. Yankees 0 for 9 with 4 strikeouts and 4 groundouts against that slider. Yankees looking for their first hit. We're in the bottom of the sixth. They trail 1-0 on the Jackson Merrill home run. Line down the right field line. It is a foul ball. It hooked and hit the side wall. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts for Cease. Rice, Judge, and Wells here in the 6th. Rubber game of this 3-game set. A prime pitcher's duel. Cease against Fried. Swing and a miss. Couldn't hold up on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. 1 away.
Well, his fastball and his slider have been both overpowering. I mean, you slider down and in, slider down and away, and then the high fastball just can't hold up.
So here's Judge, who has struck out twice in this game against Cease. Cease with 7 strikeouts. Maldonado wants to have a talk. Seven strikeouts, 13 of 19 first pitch strikes, and 3 3-ball counts. Fastball's got life on it. 0-1.
Yeah, a lot of those fastballs up out of the strike zone, but it looks so good. But like I said, you cannot really stay on top or catch up to it at 98 or 99.
Foul back to the screen. Swing and a miss on the slider. Judge strikes out for the 3rd time tonight.
Everything up out of the strike zone before this, and then he brought that slider just off the outside corner. And Judge swings through it.
Here's Austin Wells. Wells probably had the best hit ball against Cease. He drove Tatis back to the wall in right field. Tatis made the play for the first out of the 4th inning. Cabrera also hit a ball well. Sinking line drive that Tatis made the catch on. One and one. 76 pitches. High fly ball, right field. Tatis is there and makes the play. As the Yankees go down in order, there'll be a no-hit through 6. Padres 1, Yankees nothing. Well, fans, Gotham Sports app is your new home for streaming live Yankees games. Free with your eligible TV plan, or visit GothamSports.tv to subscribe today and get streaming. Well, we go to the 7th inning, bottom of the order for the Padres against Fried. Foul back to the screen. So Fried once again has pitched very well. 5 hits and 1 run over 6. The 1 run on Jackson Merrill's home run off the back wall of the Yankee bullpen. And in that bullpen, Ian Hamilton warming up. Oh, 0-2. Well, we told you yesterday, when the Padres are leading in the 7th inning, they were 23-0 before last night because their bullpen is so effective. But the Yankees scored the 10 in the bottom of the 7th inning to give them their first loss. So it's 1-0 here in the 7th as Gonzalez strikes out.
Well, Gonzalez has had a tough time. First time up, high fastball. Second time up was a ball off the plate, off speed, and then back to the high fastball. 3 strikeouts.
Here's Iglesias. Down a strike. Curveball misses. An announced crowd of 42,302 on a lovely Wednesday evening. Over the head of Fried. Volpe's there. And gets Iglesias for the second out here in the 7th. And here is Martin Maldonado. Cease locked in. Maldonado 0 for 2 reached on a drop fly ball by Judge in the 5th. Pitch outside. Breaking ball drops in there, 1-1. And the pitch. 2-1 on the number 9 hitter, Martin Maldonado. Maldonado, 15 big league seasons, 38 years old. Not a great offensive player, but teams love Maldonado for leadership and game planning. Pitchers love pitching to him.
That's Max Fried, as he goes back, I mean, there's a thought process for every pitch, and then he thinks about it, and then he tells Wells with his pitch count what he wants to throw.
This will be his 100th pitch. Fly ball center field, deep, going back Bellinger. He's got room though, and in front of the track he makes the play for the final out. So Fried retires. The Padres in order 1-2-3 at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Padres 1, Yankees nothing. But will stay right here as they honor America in the Bronx.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you rise and remove your caps and please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Army Sergeant Felix Liverman from Rochester, New York, who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. The Yankees say, thank you, Felix, for your sacrifice and service to our nation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her. Throw the light with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, right before. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Well, it's now time for the 7th inning recap brought to you by Inspire. 1-0 Padres, 1-5-1 for San Diego. The one Jackson Merrill solo home run. Dylan Cease has not a lot of hit. Max Fried, 7 strong innings again. No walks, 8 strikeouts. Aaron Judge struck out 3 times against Cease. So you've watched him. I mean, what's the game plan against a guy like Cease with his stuff tonight?
Well, I think you really got to control the strike zone with his fastball, because a lot of it has been, up just out of the strike zone, but it looks good to the hitters. His slider, I mean, is his bread and butter. We talked about it coming into the game, throws it almost 50% of the time. So I think that you just have to really worry about keeping his fastball in the strike zone.
It'll be Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and Volpe here in the 7th for the Yankees. Goldschmidt's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground ball, a third. And the pitch from Cease. 1-0. And a strike, 1-1 on the Yankee first baseman. Rounded up the middle, Bogarts fields, and a scoop by Arise to get Goldschmidt for the first out.
Again, Bogart's moving to his left and then kind of fumbles with it, and it kind of sets off the rhythm. He gives Arise kind of a tough shot. Arise picks it, no problem.
So here is Bellinger. Ball fouled away. Just 81 pitches for Cease. Boy, his fastball's been 98, 99. And mixed with that killer slider, he's got the arsenal tonight.
He's tried to throw a few knuckle curves just to keep hitters honest, but really hasn't used it much. It's been basically high fastballs.
High drive, right field, Tatis back, looking up, see ya. Second deck, first hit, first run, 1-1 here in the Bronx.
Swing, Michael, when you get a tied ball game. Cody Bellinger, a ball up in the strike zone, if not up out of the strike zone, for his 5th home run of the year. Tied this game up.
That's a proper way to break up a no-hitter.
Yeah, well, it breaks a shutout, no-hitter, does it all in one swing in the bat.
Volpe takes a knuckle curve for a strike.
That is a short swing from Cody Bellinger. Cease knows. Yeah, but, you know, that's the pitch that he has been really effective with all night, with that fastball up out of the strike zone and back to the slider. Just really quick to the ball, no wasted movement. Right then, close your eyes, you know where that's going.
Volpe down on strikes. Cease had pitched a no-hitter last year. July 25th in Washington. Flirting with it tonight until this.
You see him kind of attack the ball a lot where he starts late and he gets out on his front foot. Well, not here. He's back through it. That ball is actually out of the strike zone, but he stays through it and just hammers it to right field.
Dominguez fouls it off. So here's that no-hitter against the Nats. Only the second no-hitter in Padre history. Joe Musgrove with the other. We saw Estrada in game 1, so Jeremiah warming up. Bellinger, 5th home run, 20th ribby. One and two. See what's going on here. The athletic trainer is going to check on Cease along with Mike Schilt and Ruben Niebla.
It's something about his forearm, possibly. It looked like might have felt something.
Looks like Schilt wants to take him out.
Yeah, no chances, obviously, with a guy right here that is throwing the ball that well.
And he is taking him out. Yeah, looked like he might have cramped up.
Yeah.
You hope that's all it is. And I think that's a smart move by Schilt. You can't mess with this guy. He's too important to the team.
Well, you're at the borderline now. You've given up a home run. You've given up the no-hitter. So, you know, you're in a game now where you're going to get to your bullpen anyway. So, yeah, why take a chance? Get in there, get the traders to look at it, try to keep this thing under control.
Estrada will be coming on. Dominguez still at the plate. It's time to name that Yankee. Here are the clues. 249 starts, 7 games under 500, 4.22 ERA, played for the Padres, Yankees, and the A's. And the 89 to 91 team is not exactly the glory years here in the Bronx. So name that Yankee. So Dylan Cease was absolutely brilliant. And you know what? I don't think he could beat himself up. That wasn't a terrible pitch to Bellinger. It was a great piece of hitting.
Well, it's a pitch that got him where he was. I mean, the Yankees were offering at it all night. That pitch just out of the strike zone at 98 or 99. And then, yeah, Bellinger looks like that he just kind of shortened up and got to it, possibly looking for it. But, yeah, you don't go away from what you've been successful with. And it was working for him all night.
Well, they bring in Jason Adam. Estrada was warming up, so they're bringing in Jason Adam, and he has as much time as he needs to warm up because he's coming in as an injury replacement. Look at the ERA he's had this year, 0.95. 25 strikeouts in 19 innings. Last few years, he's been one of the major's best relievers. All right, we gave you the name that Yankee question now. You got to get this quickly. The answer is
Almost
Andy
no hitter,
Hawkins. Speaking of no-hitters, he had one. At least it was called that then in Chicago at the old Comiskey Park. But his defense betrayed him. Flowers dropped the ball. Then Ventura goes to Leyritz in left field. Leyritz dropped the ball. Then Barfield dropped the ball. So he pitched 8 no-hit innings, but he lost the game. There was no bottom of the 9th inning. At the time, it was considered a no-hitter. Then they've changed the rules and said you can't have a no-hitter unless you win, and you go 9. So Andy pitched 10 Major League seasons, 5th overall pick by the Padres, and with the Yankees 20 and 29 with a 5.21 ERA. Actually not a bad pitcher, but again, those were not great Yankee teams, and they signed him to a free agent contract, and it simply did not work out the way everybody had planned. Steve Sachs, Don Madden, that's a different team.
That was my first Major League start in San Diego. Andy Hawkins.
Really?
Started. Yeah. I got a hit as a pinch hitter and then didn't play for about 4 or 5 days. And then we finally, being with the Reds, were knocked out of the playoffs. So I got a start off Andy Hawkins.
How'd you do?
I remember getting a hit off of him. I think I was 1 for 3 maybe.
Only Padre pitcher, Andy Hawkins, to win a World Series game. He won Game 2 in 1984. He's now the assistant pitching coach for the Salt Lake Bees. That's the Angels AAA farm club. So Adam getting plenty of time to warm up. Since 2022 with the Rays and the Padres, he has a 2.01 ERA. And he was traded to the Rays to the Padres last July for Homer Bush Jr., J.D. Gonzalez, and Dylan Lesko. So Bellinger's explaining how he did it. His home run changed the whole vibe in this ballpark. People were starting to get a little sweaty. Is this going to be a no-hitter? And he had no-hitter stuff.
You know, I was watching Bellinger, and it's what I was kind of, insinuating earlier, that, he was starting to lunge a little bit, and he was talking about his weight, and if he stays back, you get a little bit more time to see the baseball.
All right, so Adam takes over 1-2 count on Dominguez. That's when Cease left because of injury. One, 2. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the 7th. 1-1 game. Strike 3, Dominguez down looking. But the big hit, the one that broke up a no-hitter, broke up a shutout, got the Yankees tied, was this one swing by Bellinger into the second deck when it lands. It's a 1-1 game. Well, both starting pitchers are now out of the game. Cease lifted because he looked like something was up with his forearm after delivering a pitch to Dominguez. And now Fried, I guess the pitch count monster got him. He pitched 7 very strong 1-run innings. So now they'll turn to Ian Hamilton, who's had 6 straight scoreless appearances, and he'll face the top of the Padres order. A very taut, nervous rubber game for these two teams. And we told you this might be a pitcher's duel, and you know what? We got it right. Cease 6 2/3, 1 hit, 1 run. He walked 2 and struck out 9 through 89. Max Fried threw 100 pitches, didn't walk a batter, struck out 8, made that 1 mistake to Merrill. So each pitcher that 1 mistake, and it's a 1-1 game. So neither will get a decision. It's in the hands of the bullpen.
Well, if you look at those numbers and the way both of those guys threw the ball tonight, neither one of them deserved to lose. So they're both on the hook.
pitch to Tatis inside, 1-0. Luke Weaver heating up. Two and 0. 3-0 on the leadoff hitter.
Boy, Tatis has been in hitters counts pretty much all night. You saw him swinging a 3-0 pitch earlier in the game. It's a tough situation now. 3-0, you know he's got the green light if he wants it, and you don't want to walk the leadoff hitter. So
there's a strike. Grounded foul. Tatis 1 for 3. And he ends up walking after working the count full.
Earlier in the game, I told you he leads the San Diego team with 8 stolen bases. So not the guy you want to lead off, walk to, but you know you got to pitch now.
Arise 0 for 3 tonight. One and 0. And a strike, 1-1. Two and 1 on the Padres first baseman. 3 straight years of winning the batting title. Runner is going. Bebas Fields has the out at first as Tatis advances to second.
Well, you know, Arise is going to make contact for the most part. So if you're Tatis, get in motion. Hopefully create a hole somewhere he can hit a ball into.
So Machado due up. Here comes Matt Blake to talk things over with Hamilton. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
Yeah, you've seen some good at-bats tonight in this huge hit he had on Monday. The Yankees had that game in hand at that point, but Manny Machado has always been able to come up with big hits against the Yankees. Boy, now that they got Merrill back in the lineup, you got a lefty on deck.
You see some cheering in the background. It's not because the Padres are threatening. It's because the Knicks are threatening in game 2, so they're obviously following on their phone. A lot of Knicks fans here and consuming the basketball game on their device.
We're Knicks fans too, Michael, right?
What was that?
We're Knicks fans too.
Machado takes outside 1-0.
And Prime's picking up on the NBA next year too. Huh?
That's right. Kind of wade through that one. 1-1.
Looks like he's looking away to shoot something to right field, and that ball kind of ran up and in.
A good pitch right there. Clipping the outside corner with the slider. 1-2. Way outside, 2-2. Two balls, two strikes, 1-1 game. Tatis at second, one man out. Blocked by Wells, and the count is full at 3-2. Off the end of the bat, foul back.
Well, that was a slider. It ended up in the middle of the plate. Thank goodness it was not a fastball, because he actually cued this ball just because of the speed. It didn't have much break on it.
And there's a walk to Machado. So 2 walks by Hamilton. And that'll bring up the dangerous youngster, Jackson Merrill. And Boone's going to take the ball from Hamilton. He's going to signal for Luke Weaver. First and second, one man out, 1-1 game, top of the 8th inning. Weaver against Merrill. When we get back, stay right here on Prime. Well, let's take a look at the Spectrum exit velocity. This is on the Merrill home run. The only mistake made by Fried. He knew at 107.5 off the bat, off the back wall of the Yankee bullpen. Came in the 4th inning. So now he's coming up against Luke Weaver. So Hamilton walks 2, gets himself into a situation. So they call in essentially their closer in a 1-1 game to get Jackson Merrill. On Monday, he allowed his first run of the season. He's been that good. First and second, one man out. This is a setup of Freddie Freeman and Merrill, kind of very similar to the Dodger great. Lined into left center field. That is going to be in there for a base hit. Tatis scores. The throw comes into second. Machado moves to third. It's an RBI single for Merrill, and San Diego leads 2-1.
Well, we talked about Merrill just getting back in the lineup, but he has had good at-bats every single time since back in the lineup. And this right here, a ball kind of tailing away, and he just goes with it and lines it into left center field. A huge hit for the Padres.
Well, you hear the cheering here at Yankee Stadium as the Knicks just beat Boston 91-90 in Game 2. Shocking. Wow. The NBA world. The defending champs lost the first 2 games of that series on their home court. And then once again, the Knicks stormed back from a big deficit. Lined into center field on the bat of Bogarts. Catch is made by Bellinger, tagging Machado, and the throw is cut off. Sac fly for Bogarts. It's 3-1 Padres.
Boys, there's a couple productive at-bats right there, and this is what San Diego does. They stay in the game, try to score a few. Look at Merrill's swing. I mean, this is just picture perfect. Behind the ball, everything, and drove that to left center field. Total extension through the baseball. And then Bogarts get the job done. Then on third base, just too deep for Cody Bellinger.
One and 0. Sheets 0 for 3 against Fried. We welcome those that were watching the Knicks defeat the Celtics on TNT. Here at top of the 8th inning, Padres lead the Yankees 3-1. Pitchers duel. Two great performances by the starters, Max Fried and Dylan Cease. But Hamilton came on after 7 innings by Fried. He walked Tatis. Got an out by Arise, moving Tatis to second. Walked Machado. They bring in Weaver. Weaver gives up an RBI single to Merrill. Bogarts then a sac fly. And the Padres lead by 2 in the top of the 8th. High drive to right field. Judge back on the track near the wall. Puts it away for the final out. As Sheets is retired. But the Padres go ahead by 2, 3-1. Padres lead the Yankees 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for San Diego. 1-1-1 for the Yankees. Jason Hayward takes over in left field. Jason Adam, who got the final out in the 7th in relief of Dylan Cease. He's out there to pitch the bottom of the 8th. Cabrera 0 for 1 with a walk. And there's a strike from Adam. So it'll be 8-9-1 in the Yankees order. They'll try to come back again against a very strong Padre bullpen. The Padres bullpen ERA before yesterday is 1.68. It's now 2.34 after that 10-run 7th inning, but still the best ERA in baseball. Devin Williams looks like he'll pitch the 9th for the Yanks. And a walk.
Going to give Trent Grisham a shot here on the lefty end to face Adams. See if Schilt's going to do anything. Probably not. Adams has had such a strong year out of the bullpen.
And no one's warming. So Grisham with 9 home runs on the season. Yankees looking for a little magic right here as he pinch hits for Vivas. Runner on first base, nobody out, bottom of the 8th inning. 3-1 San Diego. Changeup, swung on and missed.
Yeah, Adams, a lot of changeup. Threw a ton of them to Cabrera, too. Just couldn't control him.
One and one on the pinch hitter. Grisham came to the Yankees from the Padres in the deal that also brought Juan Soto. Drilled down the right field line. Foul ball. Not much foul territory there, but he found it.
You start hooking them, and there's just no way to keep that ball fair.
High drive, right field. Tatis back, turning, looking, see ya! A pinch hit, two-run home run for Grisham, and the game is tied at 3.
Trent Grisham, his 10th of the year. Another changeup from Adam, and you know what? If you see it enough, you'll make an adjustment. He won't go foul. Then he hooked one in the seats.
It is May 7th, and he has already surpassed his home run total from all of last year. Ben Rice takes a strike.
Boy, what a job to come off the bench. See a couple pitches, and all of a sudden put one in the seats to tie the game up. You know, Michael, all those fans that were multitasking with the Knicks and the Yankees, now they can get 100% on board with the Yankees.
Absolutely.
Right here.
The 0-2. Broken bat, soft ground ball. Bogarts gets Rice for the first out.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat. But they got enough of it. Wow. Just a stiff front arm swing, but he knew where it was going. You saw his reaction. Second deck. Oh, that's my shot there, Michael.
That's your favorite.
Huh?
So here's Judge. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. 0-1. Grisham knew it. Adam knew it. Couldn't bear to look. Grounded to Machado. They get Judge for the second out. Even Stanton's impressed. There's Austin Wells. One and 0. Padres up 1-0. Yankees tied at 1-1. Padres up 3-1. Yankees tie at 3-3. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees lead the majors with 62 home runs. starts. Ground ball, Iglesias, and that'll do it. But Trent Grisham comes off the bench, pinch hitting for Bebas, and he sends it into the second deck. His 10th home run of the year. The Yankees have tied the Padres 3-3. We go to the ninth. The game is tied at 3. As we go to the ninth inning, it's tied at 3 because of this swing by Trent Grisham.
Michael, it's not that easy to come off the bench and hit a big home run, but Grisham has been on a roll. And opportunities right out of spring just to keep it going, and he has definitely made the most of it.
The man with no batting gloves has done it again. So here's Hayward as they keep Weaver in the game. They were going to bring in Devin Williams if they were down 3-1, but they are keeping Weaver in. Peraza takes over at second base. Grisham is out of the game. High fly ball right center. Judge makes the play. And that brings up Jose Iglesias.
You'd really love to see a 1-2-3 inning here from Weaver. You got Iglesias, and then you got Maldonado before that lineup turns over to Tatis Jr., who you do not want to see at the plate.
And a strike to Iglesias. He's tried all the infielders but first base. Ground ball to third, to second, to short. 0 for 3. One and one. Bottom of the ninth inning for the Yanks. Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and Volpe. One and two. Weaver deals. 2-2.
See how Weaver turns his back and can walk around a little bit. It gives him a little extra time to play with that pitching clock. You know, he can work, 16, 17 seconds instead of the 15.
And he started his motion with about 1.5 seconds on the clock. And once you start the motion, then the clock stops. You don't have to deliver the pitch. Fly ball, right side, coming on Judge toward the line, foul territory, makes the play.
Again, as soon as you start tiptoeing on that hard dirt, you're running out of room if you're the right fielder. Aaron Judge had that problem a few years ago, but it was out in right center in Dodger Stadium. You don't want to see that happen again.
Here's Martin Maldonado. 0 for 3. Foul back here.
In the booth beside us, Michael.
Yeah, the Padres radio booth.
You see, they just threw it back.
Yeah.
They just chucked it out of the booth.
Well, they made friends with the fans below the broadcast booth.
Gave somebody a bump on the head, one of the two.
One and two. Paul said it's important to go 1-2-3 in this inning because you don't want to face Tatis. You want to see Tatis maybe at the end of October in the World Series the next time you see him.
That'd be great.
And he has great numbers against Weaver. The pitch. Fly ball center field. Bellinger is there. And Weaver does not have to face Tatis. But the Padres have to face Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and Volpe. Can the Yankees walk it off? We go to the bottom of the ninth. Well, here's a look at the Yankees' upcoming schedule brought to you by Dietz and Watson. So after this, Yankees will travel tomorrow to Sacramento. 3-game set against the surprising A's, and then on to Seattle to meet the Mariners. And then next weekend, back in this ballpark, Yankees and the Mets, the first edition of the 2025 Subway Series. Robert Suarez comes on. Well, one word, he's pretty nasty.
Yeah, numbers don't lie. Not that much. Look at that.
Goldschmidt will start it off against the Padres closer. Pops it up, swings at the first pitch. Maldonado makes the play in foul territory for the first out. Well, if there's a 10th inning, it's going to be Devin Williams. Here's Cody Bellinger. He's warming right now in the bullpen, Williams is. And a strike, 0-1. Bellinger, first hit of the game for the Yankees, went out in the 7th inning. Got on top of a high fastball and drove it into the second deck in right field against Dylan Cease. Fly ball left center, coming on and not making the play is Merrill. It dunks in front of him for a base hit. So Bellinger with a single.
Well, big swing off the end of the bat sometimes really fools the outfielder. Merrill got a good jump on it, just couldn't get to it. And if you leap your feet and let this ball get by you, then you're giving Bellinger at least a double.
Well, Bellinger has 4 stolen bases on the season, so he's a threat. That brings up Volpe. .100 miles an hour. 0-1.
It's a cool 100 for you, Michael.
Seen some gas in this game, I'll tell you that.
Maldonado only 17% at throwing out runners, but
a broken bat looper and caught by Iglesias. He tries to double up Bellinger, who gets back.
Boy, off the bat, I thought this was going to be trouble, but it was a broken bat. It was going to be another little dunker in there, but there's not enough carry on it.
Hit the heel and stayed in.
That ball moved a little bit in that glove, huh?
There's Dominguez, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning, 3-3 game. Oh, 0-1. Williams about ready. Bellinger leads off first. Sounded high, 1-1.
Sounded high and hard, right?
Cabrera on deck. Miles an hour on the corner. That's tough. 1-2. Top of the order against Williams if there's a 10th. Game tied at 3 because of that man's pinch hit 2-run home run in the 8th. Dominguez battling.
Oh, a better swing there. Starting to catch on to that fastball. But I think at some point Suarez will try to take something off of it and get a swing and a miss.
Suarez sets at the belt. 1-2. Changeup. 2-2. 92-mile-an-hour changeup.
Yeah, he did go to the changeup, trying to get the strikeout, but it was out of his hand. That ball was out of the strike zone, so Dominguez did not offer at it.
Tough at bat by Dominguez, facing a tough pitcher. 14 for 14 in save opportunities this year. This obviously not a save. He's trying to force extra innings. Count is full, 3-2.
Well, Cody Bellinger will be off on the pitch, and if any way that Dominguez can put one in the gap or down the line, you got a shot.
Arise will play behind him. 3-2. Popped up. Maldonado makes the play for the final out of the 9th. 3-3. Free baseball coming up. Bonus Cantos will go to the 10th. Well, how did we get here? 3-3 in the 10th. On the 4th inning, Jackson Merrill hits a bomb into the Yankee bullpen. The only mistake by Max Fried, that gave the Padres a 1-0 lead. Then we go to the 7th inning. Cody Bellinger, the first hit for the Yankees off Dylan Cease, that lands in the second deck, ties the game at 1. Then in the 8th inning, an RBI single by Jackson Merrill gave the Padres a 2-1 lead. Later became 3-1. And then in the bottom of the 8th inning, a pinch hit 2-run home run by Trent Grisham tied the game at 3, and that's where we are right now. Crowd of 42,302 here at the stadium on a beautiful Wednesday evening. Rubber game of this 3-game set. The Yankees go to Devin Williams. Had a rough outing on Monday, and all thought was that he was going to end up being in a low leverage situation. That's not what this is. Runners at second base, the inherited runners starting extra innings, and the first pitch to Tatis is a strike. So Lockridge pinch running for Maldonado.
And we talked about it earlier in the key to the game, Mike. They might be a little bit short in the pen because Cruz and Hill both back-to-back days. So you weren't going to use them tonight, and you use Hamilton and you use Weaver. So now you've got Williams in a spot that I don't know that Aaron Boone wanted him to be in.
Lockridge leads off second. Swing and a miss. Great changeup. Tatis down on strikes, 1 away.
Well, he got Tatis the other night, and that's when he got thrown out of the game on a changeup. And you see how he's around that ball and just slings it. Tons of side spin and then down at the end.
You know, to his credit, Boone has not given up on Williams. He still thinks he's going to be great. The stuff is nasty, and the Yankees and Williams will figure it out. So he didn't have much time to lick his wounds after Monday. Here he is in a big situation in the 10th inning.
You know, sometimes it can be the best thing for you. You get out there and you forget about what's going on. You're in a 3-3 game here in extra innings. And if you can get through this inning, I mean, your confidence level shoots up.
1-0 on Arise. Changeup misses. Arise is 0 for 4. Lockridge pinch running for Maldonado as the Manfred man at second. 1-0. Let's take a look at the arms in the outfield for the Yankees. You got 2 red lights in Bellinger and Judge. Proceed with caution against Dominguez. Fastball for a strike, 2-1. Three game, top of the 10th. Lockridge doing a lot of dancing at second, forcing Williams to step off the rubber.
A good job by Volpe to tell him scream and yell. It kind of caught him too far off second base to step off, make sure that he's not on his way to third.
He goes at a huge lead, giving Wells absolutely no chance. He was about 25 feet off of second base.
Yeah, Volpe was trying to, you know, hit the glove, anything to get him back, but he had no fear whatsoever. He just kept getting farther and farther off. Again, he could have walked to third base. Not even a throw from Wells.
And that makes the Yankees bring the infield in. And Arise works a walk. And now you face the dangerous Manny Machado. Machado 2 for 3 with a walk and a run scored in the game. Yankees back up. They'll play for the double play with runners on the corners. Machado 1 for 3 against Williams in his career. Talbot up to 95, and Machado swings through 0-1.
Well, he wanted the four-seam fastball. He got it just outside the strike zone. Manny Machado guessing fastball, went after it.
Fouls off the changeup, 0-2. What does he go to now? Does he waste the fastball? Does he try to put him away at the change?
Yeah, I think this is all changeups from now on. Manny Machado had his fastball first pitch to swing out of the zone. Looks like you're going to go try to get that strikeout with an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, goes with the change. Low, 1-2.
Austin Wells going to get the sign in case of a double steal, whether you're going to throw through or let Arise just go to second base.
Lockridge has good speed at third. A long set and the 1-2. Swing and a miss, got him on the change. 2 away, a big strikeout of Machado.
Yeah, a huge pitch. He threw one out of the zone and then all of a sudden went back to it. But you could tell that Machado was looking fastball first pitch. He got one, but it was up out of the strike zone. And then as soon as he got ahead, it was going to be nothing but changeups. That's his bread and butter. That's how you get a strikeout. Great pitch right there. Austin Wells again giving the sign. I think that you got to let Arise go. Don't give them an opportunity. Give Williams an opportunity to get another out by getting Merrill out. But what a great changeup.
So here's Jackson Merrill First and third, 2 outs. Misses with the change, 1-0.
Boy, what a different lineup. Getting Merrill back these last couple of days. I mean, he's a force there to put a left-handed hitter in between Machado and Bogaerts.
One and one. Jeremiah Estrada looks like as if he'll pitch the bottom of the 10th. And that hit him. That's going to load the bases as Merrill hit by a pitch. And he's in a lot of pain. You could hear it up here.
Yeah, just getting back off the IL. That's not what you want a couple days in. But I think that Williams knew he was going to show him a fastball, but to make sure that it's in off the plate, and it was. It just clipped him.
Almost like it got him on the inside part of the arm, not the hand. That's a good thing. Doesn't feel any better.
But again, I mean, if you're going to show the fastball, if you're going to miss, you're going to miss in off the plate. Don't give him anything to really hit. He's kind of on top of the plate too, but no doubt about it, that ball's going to get him.
And Matt Blake goes out and tosses with Williams. So now here's the veteran Bogaerts. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Top of the 10th, 3-3 game. Padres have 6 hits, Yankees have 3. Padres won on Monday, Yankees won last night. Final game of the set. Change misses, 1-0. Obviously no place to put Bogaerts. 8-9-1 for the Yankees in the bottom of the 10th inning. Remember, there'll be a runner at second base. There's a strike. And that runner would be Jason Dominguez with great speed. Williams trying to get out of trouble here in the 10th. And the pitch. And that changeup is working tonight.
Yeah, he's been changeup heavy ever since he needed some outs, and especially the strikeout against Machado. It's been nothing but that changeup.
Many in the crowd standing, looking for strike 3. Time is called by Bogaerts. Bogaerts 1 for 3 with a sac fly. The sac fly drove in the Padres' 3rd run, 2nd run in the 8th inning. Runners lead. And the 1-2. Changeup misses, 2-2.
I don't know if you go away from the changeup, Michael, but it's very hard if you're Williams to continually throw Bogaerts the same pitch over and over again.
One with the fastball way outside, so now it's a money pitch. The count is full. 2 outs. The runners will go from each base.
Yeah, he has not been able to control that fastball. Looks like he's trying to overthrow it, so you might as well go to your best. And that's the changeup here, 3-2.
Swing and a miss, got him on the change. And Williams is pumped up as he strides off the mound. He threw him the change. Bogaerts swings over the top. The Padres leave the bases bases loaded, and the Yankees have a chance to win it in the bottom of the 10th. So Devin Williams had a rough Monday night, but here on Wednesday, Paul, he made this pitch.
Yeah, 3-2. I mean, he had trouble with the fastball. You might as well go to your best pitch. Bogart saw 4 or 5 of them in that count, but still, you think he wants to do well? Yeah. There's some emotion, and that's what the Yankee fans want to see. Somebody that'll bounce back and get that huge out.
All right, so let's manage ahead of time here. You've got Estrada on the mound. You've got Dominguez at second. It's a tie game. Are you having Cabrera bunt?
Well, yeah, he had issues the other night. Remember, he popped up that bunt. So, you know, a lot of times a manager will tell a guy, you either pull the ball, you bunt him over. Any way you want to do it, you got to get the job done.
Padres expecting bunt. They're in at the corners. And there's a bunt toward third. Perfect bunt. And the sacrifice successful.
Yeah, you bunt it hard at third base, make Machado field the ball. Dominguez can just cruise into third. Well, he learned from the other night. He got the job done. No secret about it. He turned around early.
Well, they are going to send up J.C. Escara to pinch hit for Peraza. Runner at third base. Meeting on the mound to go out how they want to pitch to Escara. Two faces of Devin Williams. This is Monday night after it all went wrong. In the rain. Just feeling it. But tonight he's in his feels. He is pumped up. Sky high. He's been waiting for that moment.
Yeah, like I said, every once in a while in a big moment, you can just forget about all your problems and go back to what you do best. And that's what he did. Threw a great changeup, 3-2.
So here is Escara pinch hitting for Peraza. The infield is in. The outfield is in. Dominguez, good speed at third. Estrada deals. 1-0. On deck is Ben Rice.
Yeah, Scotter's got to remember, infield in, everything. You know, the juices are flowing, but first base is open. He's, you know what, he's not just going to lay one in there for you if he gets behind in the count.
Jumped on that one, fouled it off. 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
98, but that was a good pitch to hit. That's the ball. You know, as a hitter, you put it in play and try to get the job done early in the count.
Another foul ball, 0-2. Moments like these are the ones that kept Escara coming back. Independent League baseball. Driving an Uber to make ends meet. Finally making a major league team this year, getting his first hit and his first home run. Now he wants his first walk-off. It's right there in front of him, pinch hitting. The 1-2. 2-2.
It's been all fastballs, and he beat him on the fastball before. That went out completely out of the strike zone.
Winning runs at third. Fly ball left field. This should get it done. Hayward back, still back. He makes the catch, tagging Dominguez. He'll score. It's a walk-off sac fly, and the Yankees win 4-3 in 10 innings and take the series from San Diego.
Wow, you can only be happy for Escara. Down to one strike. He put it in play the other way. Fans are going crazy. This is some story, some game, Michael. New York 2-0 tonight. The Knicks and the Yankees.
Look at that smile, and that was not an easy at bat. He put it into play and hit it deep to left field. And that scored Dominguez easily. The sac fly wins it for the Yankees. They were down 1-0. They were down 3-1. And they win this one 4-3 in 10 innings.
Well, you can't say. I mean, Dylan Cease and Max Fried, I mean, they set this game up. They were two good pitchers on their game tonight to put you in extra innings with an opportunity to walk home with a smile. Well, there's that smile.
And credit has to also go to Devin Williams, keep him off the board in the top of the 10th.
Yeah, I mean, there were some big things that happened for the Yankees tonight. But again, you look at it in the sense that they just beat a really good team, 2 out of 3 here at home. Pack up, go on the road. See you next weekend, Michael.
30 years old, been waiting his whole life to play in the big leagues and making it count, coming off the bench and giving the Yankees their first walk-off win this season. Sunflower seeds, water, nothing's cooling him off as the Yankees win this one 4-3 on Escara's pinch hit sac fly. Crowd of over 42,000 going crazy, and now we'll send it down to Justin Shackle on the field.
Well, Michael, not how you start, it's how you finish. Trent Grisham ties the game off the bench. J.C. Escara wins it off the bench. What keeps you guys ready in these tight situations?
That just shows you the kind of fight this team has, down in all the games in this series, and fought back these last two. Fought back last night for an explosion in the 7th, and then fought back all day today.
Your game-tying 2-run homer off Jason Adam. You get a series of change-ups. Almost looked like you swung it with that front arm alone, and you still park it in the second deck. What did that swing feel like?
It feels good to come up big in a situation. So, but yeah, I was just in the at-bat the whole time mentally, and it was a lot of fun.
You talk about the consistent at-bats coming out of spring training, helping you stay in type of a rhythm and get off to a nice start. How much of that effect carries over a month and a half into the season?
Yeah, consistency helps. I mean, that's what we're trying to be as players, is consistent. So consistent playing time helps, but I would say it's more consistent work on mentality for me.
You get the win in the bottom of the 11th, but what was it like watching Devin Williams get through the top of the 10th?
Exciting. That was a lot of fun to watch. Just come out here, and a lot of pent-up energy to come out here and just compete, and getting the job done was a lot of fun to celebrate with him.
You know better than most, this Padres bullpen's really talented. What allowed this team to get through the pen 2 nights in a row?
I think it's like I said, it's just a lot of fighting the guys, man. A lot of fight in the locker room, a lot of fight in this series, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
Trent, congratulations. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now it's time for the players of the game, presented by Snickers.
Well, we saw some emotion here. Devin Williams gets a big opportunity. 3-2 changeup, bases loaded. And that sets us up. J.C. Escara with his first walk-off. And the Yankees' first walk-off for the year. And an exciting game.
Redemption for Williams. Exaltation for Escara, and Williams loved it when J.C. lofted that sac fly. He gets a win, he gets redemption, and the Yankees take the series 2-1. Big series here for the Yankees against a really good Padres team. And of course, you got to cool them off. Judge and Volpe with the shower of J.C. Escara. John Morosi also gets some as well. 4-3-1 for the Yanks, 3-6-1 for the Padres in 10 innings. 3 hours and 3 minutes. Williams the win, Estrada the loss. Merrill 2 for 4, a home run, 2 ribbies. Escara with the walk-off sac fly. Yankees' first walk-off win this season. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and the executive producer of the Yes Network is Jared Ames Bosnack. Don't forget to join us again Wednesday, May 21st, as the Yankees host the Rangers here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Coverage begins at 6:30 on Prime, with first pitch coming just after 7. For more coverage of tonight's game, tune into the Yes Network for the W.B. Mason postgame show. Once again, the final score in 10 innings, the New York Yankees 4 and the San Diego Padres 3. Yankees win another max-free game. They're 8-0 in his starts. For Paul O'Neill and Justin Shackle, I'm Michael Kay saying see ya from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. A great night, a great Wednesday in New York City. Have a good night, everybody. So long.
And we
welcome you to the latest edition of the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you. Final from the Bronx. Yankees win it 4-3 in 10. So they take the series against the Padres. This one started with terrific starting pitching from Dylan Cease and Max Fried. Few big swings of the bat, and then a sac fly off the bat of J.C. Escarra ends it. Let's get your Hyundai opening comment.
Yeah, that's a spirited and scintillating win for the Yankees. So many contributors, Bob, and we should shoot right to that 10th inning because Devin Williams, who has struggled this season and has not had the kind of start that he or the Yankees expected, is able to wriggle through a bases-loaded jam in the top of the 10th inning. 3 strikeouts, all on changeups, and then J.C. Escarra comes through with a pinch-hit sac fly to get his first career walk-off. Of course it's his first career walk-off. It was only his 4th career run batted in. We all know the story. Former Uber driver, almost quit baseball. A night like this is probably what he was always dreaming about. And the Yankees are able to defeat a very good team and getting the series win, a team with the best bullpen in the majors. And, Bob, that was after they did not have a hit until the 7th inning and were trailing 3-1 in the 8th inning. Bellinger got the first hit in the 7th. Grisham with a game-tying 2-run homer in the 8th.
Got to the Padres bullpen in Game 2 in a big way in that 10-run 7th, and they did it again tonight. Let's look at the highlights from this ball game. It's an exciting one brought to you by your local Ford stores. And as we said, Jack, this started out as a great pitching duel between Max Fried, unbeaten on the season, going up against Dylan Cease. Top of the first, 2-2 pitch past Fernando Tatis Jr., strikeout to begin the game. And then Dylan Cease was doing his thing. The numbers not good coming into this one, an ERA north of 5.5. Gets Aaron Judge there with a slider. And then this back and forth just continued throughout the first few innings.
Yeah, top of the second, 2 outs. And how about that high 4-seam fastball from Fried to get Gonzalez? That's been his best pitch. And how about that pitch? You look at the bottom of the second for Cease, throws a fastball right past Volpe.
Taken to the top of the third, nobody on, 1 out. Fried sneaking a 2-2 fastball past Martin Maldonado. And then bottom of the third with runners at the corners. Judge coming to the plate. Good chance to do some damage here. But with 2 outs, Cease gets him with a fastball to end the inning. But the only dent for Fried coming in the top half of the 4th with 2 outs.
Yeah, Jackson Merrill is back in the Padres lineup, and he is a difference maker. First pitch sweeper. It hangs in the zone. It's too high. It's not where Fried wanted it to be. You saw his immediate reaction. 4th homer for Merrill. It traveled 417 feet, gave the Padres a 1-0 lead.
All right, so just that 1 run on the board, and Cease just kept clicking along. Bottom of the 5th, Yorby Vivas goes down on a slider to close out the inning. No hitting the Yankees through 5. And then Judge goes down swinging again on an 0-2 slider. Still 1-0 as we go to the top of the 7th. Nobody on, nobody out. Fried getting Gonzalez on a high fastball. Finally, bottom of the 7th, they break through against Cease.
Yeah, it's Bellinger. He had been 1 for 10 off Cease in his career to this point. He gets a 4-seam fastball up in the zone. He turns on it. It was an 0-2 count, Bob, and that's the first hit of the game for the Yankees. They are celebrating. Cease is shaking his head. It's Bellinger's 5th home run of the season. Yankees exhale. It's 1-1.
Cease struck out Volpe next and then appears to be injured right there. So little something maybe with the arm, Jack, removed from the game after 6 2/3, allowed just that 1 hit and struck out 9.
You see Mike Schilt, the manager, and the athletic trainers come out to the mound. It almost looked like he was trying to talk his way into staying in the game. He did point to his forearm. Perhaps a cramp, perhaps something that we'll get an update on in the postgame, but he left after 6 2/3 glistening innings.
So now it's a bullpen game, and in the top of the 8th, after Ian Hamilton walked 2 batters, Luke Weaver comes in. Runners at first and second, line drive off the bat of Merrill, 2-1. Padres lead it. Next batter, Xander Bogaerts with runners at the corners. Fastball to center. Machado will tag and score from third on a sac fly. Padres take the 3-1 lead. But then the story gets even better for the Yanks. Bottom of the 8th, Trent Grisham pinch hitting after a leadoff walk.
Yeah, and Adam is a changeup artist. It's changeup after changeup after changeup. That was the 4th straight changeup he threw to Grisham. It spun inside to a place where Grisham could do some damage, sends it into the second deck. His 10th homer of the season, made it 3-3. He's already surpassed last year's homer total.
So here's that top of the 10th with a designated runner at second. Devin Williams starts by getting Tatis on an 0-2 changeup. And as you said, after a walk and a stolen base, there's another one.
Best changeup of the season that we've seen from Devin Williams, right down to the final pitch he threw in the inning. It's 3-2. Everyone knows a changeup is coming, but you got to make it look good enough for the batter to swing. That had a little bit of the plate as it sailed in. It sailed out of the zone. Bogert swings over it.
Now it's the Yankees' chance, bottom of the 10th. Cabrera clearly bunting. It's a sac bunt, well executed. Dominguez, the designated runner, goes to third with one out. That brings up pinch hitter J.C. Escarra.
And this was a difficult assignment for him. You're watching him come up there, and he's seeing pitches come at him at 98 miles an hour from Estrada. He's finally able to lift that one the other way. Just a terrific at-bat, Bob. He had fouled off a couple of pitches before that. He laid off another high offering. He knew he needed a productive out. Just get the baseball in the air. And, man, that is a celebration. And as you watch his teammates celebrate with him, Bob, they're celebrating all those long days where he wasn't even sure if he'd ever be a major leaguer.
Well, you see the problems for the pitchers. Everybody was fine until Hamilton walked those two batters. Just walks will kill you, Jack. As you know, Weaver comes in, gives up the hit and the sac fly. But Devin Williams is a big story here, being able to get through that top of the 10th and set the table for the Yanks.
Yeah, every night we hear the Yankees playing some music in their clubhouse, and a lot of nights you and I will talk about what it is. Tonight they should play at least one round of Bob Marley's Redemption Song, because that has to be how Devin Williams is feeling. First of all, when he comes into the game in that spot, Bob, it's Aaron Boone showing confidence and trust in him again. It was just a couple of nights earlier in this series where Devin Williams did not have the location and the command on his pitches that he needed. I don't think he had a great fastball today, Bob. He yanked his fastball a little bit. He had to rely on the changeup. That is the pitch that made him the best closer in baseball from 2020 through 2024. The Yankees have to be thrilled that they saw Williams perform the way he did tonight.
But then you could get back to George Benson, Give Me the Night, after Redemption Song for Devin Williams. That could go to Bellinger, certainly to Grisham, and certainly to J.C. Escarra. I mean, again, 98 to 100 from Estrada, and just being able to foul off a few pitches, keep that at bat alive, make it competitive, and then get the result he wanted.
Well, I'll talk about Escarra in a second, but let's start with Bellinger because you brought him up. Cease had no-hit stuff. He really did. There's a guy who threw a no-hitter last year. He was doing anything he wanted to do against the Yankees. He threw 37 sliders. He got 14 swings and misses on his slider. But when Bellinger gets on top of that one fastball, it allows the Yankees to exhale and say, okay, they've got a game. Then when Hamilton walks a couple, they score. Grisham comes through with a great pinch hit to tie up the game. And Escarra is in the dugout. He's waiting for his opportunity. It was Peraza who was due to bat there. Boone likes, of course, going with the lefty-righty matchup in that situation against the righty Estrada. You want to believe in Escarra. And, Bob, I go all the way back to spring training talking to Escarra about his baseball life. And he said there was about a 4-month period where he almost quit baseball, said, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. But he finally decided he was going to do it. And one thing about Escarra, he came into spring training ready. He played winter ball. He won a batting title in winter ball. And when he got to spring training, he won that backup catcher job with very little competition from Alex Jackson. And now he's proving to the Yankees why he belongs on this team.
Well, you also talked, and we talked about this a lot, Trent Grisham came in with a different viewpoint. Didn't get the at-bats that he wanted last year, but said, I'm going to be ready whenever I need to come in and play. And Aaron Boone has been forced to play him a lot. And take a look at this. Now has 10 home runs this season in 101 plate appearances. He had 9 all of last year in more than double that. Right after the game, Justin Shackle talked to Grisham on the field on Prime.
Trent Grisham ties the game off the bench. J.C. Escarra wins it off the bench. What keeps you guys ready in these tight situations?
That just shows you the kind of fight this team has, down in all the games in this series, and fought back these last two. Fought back last night for an explosion in the 7th, and then fought back all day today.
Your game-tying 2-run homer off Jason Adam. You get a series of change-ups. Almost looked like you swung it with that front arm alone, and you still park it in the second deck. What did that swing feel like?
It feels good to come up big in a situation. So, but yeah, I was just in the at-bat the whole time mentally, and it was a lot of fun.
You talked about the consistent at-bats coming out of spring training, helping you stay in type of a rhythm and get off to a nice start. How much of that effect carries over a month and a half into the season?
Yeah, consistency helps. I mean, that's what we're trying to be as players, as consistent. So consistent playing time helps. But I would say it's more consistent work on mentality for me.
You get the win in the bottom of the 11th, but what was it like watching Devin Williams get through the top of the 10th?
Exciting. That was a lot of fun to watch. Just come out here and a lot of pent-up energy to come out here and just compete and getting the job done was a lot of fun to celebrate with him.
You know better than most, this Padres bullpen's really talented. What allowed this team to get through the pen 2 nights in a row?
It's like I said, it's just a lot of fighting the guys, man. A lot of fight in the locker room, a lot of fight in this series, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
Trent, congratulations. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Justin, thank you for that. Aaron Boone has called it a good puzzle with 4 quality outfielders. Tonight, he opts for Dominguez, Bellinger, and Judge, but knows that he can pull that trigger off the bench with Grisham and knows it'll be a really good at-bat.
And when he talked about his outfield alignment before the game, he did reference the fact that Grisham is someone who could have an impact in this game, someone he could use during the game. And Grisham's at-bats this season, Bob, have just been terrific. I do think he came into this season with a renewed attitude of knowing it's a different role than the role he used to have with that team, the Padres, and he has forced Boone to play him a lot more than anyone probably expected. The production has been terrific. And going back to that at-bat against Adam, since 2022, the relief pitcher with the lowest batting average against in the major leagues, he pitched in tonight's game. It's Devin Williams. The guy with the second lowest batting average against him is Jason Adam. He is a difficult at-bat. But credit to Grisham that you sort of know you're going to get a changeup in that spot, and it was in a place where he could do some damage. He parks it and brings Yankee Stadium to life.
We're going to take our first break here on the WB Mason postgame. A lot of good things to talk about, a lot to hear about from Aaron Boone and more from the clubhouse. We'll hear from the manager coming up next on the WB Mason postgame.
The Yankees postgame show on Yes is presented by WB Mason. Get fast free delivery of food service products you need at prices you'll love. Request your free catalog today at WBMason.com. The Yankees postgame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires.
It's a new season of names and a new season of numbers. Join host Gracie Cashman and iconic New York athletes for an inside look at the digits that define their careers. Watch the story of my number presented by the New York Lottery on Wednesday, May 14th, following Yankees coverage on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. That is the celebration ending tonight's game, which the Yankees win 4-3 in 10 innings. J.C. Escarra coming up with the game-winning sac fly. 4-3 win, 3 hours, 3 minutes, free baseball, and went 10 innings, and the Yankees won it. What a walk-off sac fly by Escarra. Let's hear about that and more from the manager, Aaron Boone, and the manager's report brought to you by Toyota.
Aaron, what you like about J.C. Escarra in that moment and ultimately how he handled it?
Yeah. I mean, Estrada's obviously really tough, so it's a tough matchup. Prefer the lefty against them, though. And JC can really hit. I mean, we haven't seen it yet at this level just because he hasn't gotten that many reps yet. But he's a really good hitter and just a really good job there with 2 strikes. Estrada gets ahead of him and he lays off the 1-2 up and out and then just got enough of it to drive it out to left. So just a real quality pro at bat right there.
What did you see from Devin in the top of the 10th?
Nasty. I mean, look, tough spot. He come in, you got the ghost runner already out there, and what he's been through. You're at the top of the lineup. He gets a huge strikeout at Tatis to start things off. Another one of Machado. Outstanding, and then runs it full there with Bogarts and just executes a pitch. The changeup was great, but he was in the counts from the start with his fastball, so it wasn't. I feel like being in the strike zone enough with that heater really set up the change, and the depth on it from the side tonight looked really good.
Last 2 nights against their bullpen, what have you liked most about your team's at-bat quality?
Yeah, I mean, that's, obviously that's about as good as you're going to go up against, the guys that they can run out. Last night it was their lefties lefty specialists against our lefties, and we ran up a ton of great at bats. Big time pinch hit there by Grish, obviously. So, one big swing to get us back in against Adam, who's really tough on lefties too, and was in that spot probably where they wanted him, and that's just a huge swing by Grish. And then enough gritty at bats there against Estrada. Good job by Cabby getting him over, and then JC doing his job.
Clap.
Aaron, can you just talk about what a great game this was?
Yeah. It was a great game, Bob. It really was. It's definitely good to win a series. We've lost a couple series here coming into this where we've been in a lot of these kind of games, where we feel like we've been on the wrong side a few of these games. So nice to punch through with that. Because I feel like we're going to be really good. We just, we got to find a way to win some of these games and secure some series with these kind of games. So just a really, really well-played game by two quality teams.
Brian to the left.
You've talked about you thought you did Grisham a disservice by not playing him a lot last year. What made you think he was capable of more?
Getting to see him get some run last year in August was really the one time he got some fairly regular playing time when Giancarlo was down, and he was productive then. I thought he did a really good job for us. But really this spring, I don't know. I don't know if he's better or not. I just felt like what I was seeing was just a really live player. I just felt like he even saw a little more on defense, just how he was moving. At bat after at bat after at bat was quality. And that's all we've seen this start the season. He goes 0 for the other day, but it's like every at bat's heavy and controlling the zone and getting a lot of good swings off, and just excited the way he's playing right now.
Gary.
Prior to all of the offense, just what did you think of Max, and what made Cease so effective?
Yeah, Max was. I thought this was one of Max's best, frankly. I thought his command was really good tonight. I think he didn't walk anyone, did he? Would he punch out 8 or 9? I just thought I thought stuff-wise he was really good, but command, I thought this might have been his best command game, in my opinion, all year. And obviously that's saying something with as well as he pitched. So just 7 excellent innings. Merrill got 2 really good swings off on him, where he hit the first ball that belly runs down in the deepest part of the park, and then he really got him the next time, and you kind of tip your cap. And then Cease, I thought, was pretty electric too. I thought his slider was excellent tonight, and didn't make mistakes with it. And then when you're pairing that with 97, 98, 99, that's that kind of, you see those outings throughout the year that Cease has where, he's dominating, and I think he's throwing some no-hitters. Like, that's what it looks like right there. That was pretty electric stuff against us without making a lot of mistakes and in the strike zone a lot.
Mark.
To see Devin Williams roaring off the mound like he did, just what can a day like today do for his confidence?
Well, I mean, that's as tough a spot as you're going to be in, right? Ghost runner, top of the order, what's gone on here in the first month plus. So, that's takes a lot of guts to stand out there and just make pitch after pitch and continue to execute. So that's what he is and what he's capable of. And hopefully that's another one in a handful that have been really good of late. So keep building.
Roger.
You mentioned what's gone on the last month with Williams. Did you sort of feel like he was trending upward? Can you tell us a little bit about the decision to put him in such a high leverage spot?
I mean, we needed him. I mean, period. And I do feel like he has been throwing the ball really well the last couple weeks. He had the outing the other day where he struggled a little bit, obviously, but the few before that I felt were really good. And even some of the ones where he has struggled, it's been a little wonky. It's been a little hasn't bounced his way. So, this guy's been one of the game's great relievers now for a while, and you get a peek at it right there, punching out 3 really good hitters with everything on the line there.
Max.
Aaron, you mentioned the way Cease's fastball looked tonight. What did you think of Bellinger catching up to one of those in an 0-2 count?
Yeah. I mean, left the strike zone. Wanted him to control the strike zone a little more, but he got on one up around the letters there. I mean, that's just a really short swing, one of those where, Bellies just can be so good bat to ball, that hand-eye coordination that he has. He just met up with it perfect, was short to it, and really clipped it.
Last one, Greg, to the right.
I know Leiter was warming at one point, but is he dealing with anything that you were staying away from at all? Or?
No.
And then in the top of the 8th, when the Padres were taking the lead in the roar from the crowd, were you kind of wondering what was going on?
No, I figured the Knicks were doing well.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to Devin Williams, and Boone was put in a spot where he basically said we needed him in that spot. Last night we did see Cruz and Hill, so they might have been in a no-fly area, but it was a little bit of a surprise, given what Boone has said in the past about putting him in lesser leverage situations, to see him up in the bullpen.
There's one man who manages the Yankees, that's Aaron Boone. But, Bob, we know there are millions who manage along with him. And I would have thought that after Williams' last outing, that the Yankees might have tried to use him in some lower leverage situations. But Boone gave the appropriate answer tonight. He said they needed him. They needed Williams to do exactly what he did. And we're showing the 3 strikeouts that he was able to collect, Bob, and the changeups that he threw. He threw 13 changeups in that inning. It was clearly his best pitch. He yanked a couple of fastballs. I actually think if the Padres hitters were paying attention, they would have realized that he's going to throw his changeup, because he hit Merrill with a fastball. He yanked another fastball. He was going to his changeup. Of course, a lot of hitters have known that over the years and still haven't been able to hit it. But of those 13 changeups, there was only one that wasn't in the bottom third of the zone. That was the second one that he threw to Tatis. Everything else was down. He was getting great horizontal movement on that pitch. So for a guy who has already allowed 13 unearned runs this season, as many as he allowed in 23 and 24, this night had to be a revelation for him. And now, as any short reliever will tell you, Bob, you have to have a short memory when things aren't going well. Well, now he's had one really good one. He's got to stack them up. He's got to keep being an option that Boone can go to.
Let's take a quick break here on the WB Mason postgame. A lot more coming up. We're going to hear from Max Fried after this, break down his outing. 7 strong innings, just 1 run allowed, and he struck out 8 along the way.
Yankees post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com.
Max Fried was terrific again tonight, making his 8th start, coming in looking for his 7th win, trying to go 7-0, Jack. And right out of the gate, you could see he had command of all his stuff again.
Yeah, the fastball again. It's been his best pitch all season. It was tonight as well. Tatis swings right over that one. We move ahead to the 2nd. He gets Gonzalez with a fastball. Top of the 3rd, still scoreless. Guess what? Maldonado swings through a fastball. The Padres were 2 for 12 against his fastball. Top of the 4th, 2 out, bases empty. The one sweeper he'd like to have back. You see his reaction, Bob, as Jackson Merrill hits it 417 feet, his 4th of the year, his first since returning from an injury. 1-0 Padres.
But then what do? You bounce back. Next time he faces Merrill in the 6th, got him right there on a 1-2 sinker. Next batter, Xander Bogaerts on a 2-2 fastball. And again, just peppering the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, he's waiting for the Yankee offense to come along for the ride, but knowing he's got to stop the Padres. And how about that fastball right there? It was 93. to get Gonzalez. It looked like it had a lot more life than that, but that's what Fried will do. That is what Fried has done. That ERA remains gaudy. He did not get the win tonight, but once again, he went head-to-head with Cease and pitched wonderfully.
But the Yankees did get a win again in one of his starts, so they're 8-0 when he starts. He's 6-0. His ERA barely went up, and he struck out 8 along the way with no walks. Let's hear from Fried now in our Genesis Sounds of the Game.
Max, Aaron just said he thought that this was the best command you've had in the game, in his opinion, all season. What did you think of your command tonight?
I would probably agree. Just being able to throw kind of all my pitches and put them in good locations, and yeah, it felt pretty good overall. That's a really great lineup over there. So you just got to be on your A game, and you know, especially going up against Cease, you know, you gotta bring it.
What was that like for you, going up against him and the way he was pitching?
I mean, when he's going out there throwing the way he is and throwing a no-hitter for most of the game, you just got to try to match him. So just whatever I could do, you know, just to keep him off the board.
Pitcher to pitcher, obviously, you know, in a different situation, starter, Devin Williams, a reliever, but for him to get through that type of inning and then watch him roar, what do you think that roar feels like as pitcher to pitcher?
I mean, that's a big spot. It's a big spot in the game. You know, we went down and we tied it up, and then went down again and tied it up again. And, you know, coming in that situation with a guy on second base to strand and to be able to go out there and hold them to no runs, that's an extremely hard thing to do, especially with the top of the lineup. And, you know, he just showed that the kind of pitcher that he's been over the last couple of years, being able to make big pitches and, you know, get some really big strikeouts. And yeah, it was definitely a huge turning point and a big moment for us tonight.
What about the whole series overall? What do you come away with?
We have a lot of fight. That's a great team over there. You know, they've been a playoff team, and they've got a lot of the same core. You know, excellent pitching staff. They play great defense, and they're really competitive in at bats. So, you know, we went out there and, you know, we played our brand of baseball, and you know, it was really big. You know, we went down, but the offense always came back and answered, and you know, it's a really good series win.
How would you describe what Grisham has meant to you guys?
I mean, just coming up big spot after big spot, making big plays in the field. You know, he's been playing incredible, and you know, a big reason why we come off with the wins that we have.
So obviously you had a lot of success at the major league level, but you know, this 8-start stretch, I believe it's 105 ERA. Is this the best you've felt? And if so, why do you think you've had this level of success so early on here?
I feel like I'm throwing the ball well, but you know, as far as the results, as far as the ERA and all that kind of stuff, I can't really put a finger on it. You know, I've got, kind of said it before, but you know, just I got great teammates and be able to make big plays, and you know, just going out there and trying to compete and try to win games, and you know, I'm just trying to keep it as simple as that.
Jack, earlier you brought up redemption song for Devin Williams. You could kind of say that about Fried as it relates to the Padres. And the last time he faced him, we talked about this on the pregame. That was in the National League wild card. He allowed 5 runs over 2 innings, and he was out of that game. And you kind of mentioned on the pregame, maybe there was a little something that he wanted to get redemption against the Padres.
He's such a focused pitcher. I'm sure that he was thinking about this game tonight and this lineup, but I think you would not be human, Bob, if for a few seconds your mind didn't drift back to the fact that the last time you faced this team, your season was ending and they were sending you home. You're wearing a different uniform now, but you still want to beat that team. And Bob Klapisch asked Aaron Boone during the post-game press conference about how great a game this was. And this was a May game that if the Yankees want to dream, 5 months from now, they want to be able to give Max Fried the ball again against a great team like the Padres in the postseason, and believe that Fried can do exactly what he did tonight. And Bob, so far in his Yankee career across 8 starts, there is not a sliver of evidence to believe that Max Fried, when given the ball, won't produce as heavily as he has. He lost that game you're referencing, but he does have a World Series clincher on his resume for the Atlanta Braves as well.
Love to hear the mentality, too. Though he's not facing Dylan Cease head-to-head, he's looking up at the scoreboard, seeing zeros in every column, including the hit column into the 7th inning. So he's thinking, all right, I gave up the 1 run. I've given up a couple of hits, but I got to keep it right here and give us a chance.
Any pitcher who ever says they're not noticing what the other pitcher is doing and they're not thinking about they're lying. And that's not coming from me. It's coming from David Cohn. He said, of course you know what the other guy is doing. You're watching those zeros fill up on the board. I think that was part of why we saw Fried. That was about the most emotional, negative reaction we've seen from him this year when he gave up the Merrill home run. He got Merrill out on a sweeper, Bob, in the 1st inning, but it was more off the plate. So when Merrill connected with it, he had to go to the deep part of the ballpark, and Bellinger was able to hunt it down. That sweeper that he threw in Merrill's second at-bat was more on the inside part of the plate and was up. And, of course, Merrill can shoot it towards right center field, and that turns into a souvenir.
Well, J.C. Escarra shot one towards left field. It was a sac fly, and it won the game for the Yankees in the 10th inning. And when we come back, we're going to have reaction from Escarra, so stick around.
Post-game show on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Hyundai dealers. There's never been a better time to test drive that Hyundai you've always wanted. Visit HyundaiUSA.com today.
Well, tomorrow night, watch Yankees minor league baseball on Yes as the AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders take on the Rochester Red Wings. Coverage starts tomorrow at 6:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Now, a key moment in tonight's game in the bottom of the 10th, Jack, rung a bell with you in a play that happened last night.
Yes, 7th inning last night. Cabrera turns around to try and bunt, and the pitch is a little up, and the bat doesn't connect the way he wanted it to, and he's mad. Watch. Now, they went on to score 10 runs, of course, so he was smiling later. But tonight, from the opposite side, watch. He gets that bat out early. Against Suarez, a guy very difficult to bunt with 97. Lays it down. That was vital for the sacrifice fly that followed. Bob, that was the first sack bunt the Yankees have had all season.
And they're about to get their first walk-off win of the season when J.C. Escarra steps in. Again, 2-2 pitch. Flicks it out to left field, and that proved to be your game winner. And Jack, as Dominguez tags and scores, look at the reaction from Escarra. What a great moment.
Yeah, his teammates are celebrating with him. They're knowing what the journey meant for J.C. Escarra to get to this moment.
Let's hear from him post-game with the media and Justin Shackle.
JC, what's going through your mind when they say that you have that spot in that situation, and how do you keep yourself prepared on the bench?
Man, a lot was going through my mind. My heart was pounding through my chest, standing there hitting. But, you know, my story, what happened today, it makes it all worth it. So, you know, I just got to thank Booney, you know, and my teammates for trusting me with that at bat. And all I could do is show up every day and, you know, have the same routine, get ready the same way, like if I was going to play. And then, you know, when my name's called, just how it was today, you know, give my teammates a chance to win.
How were you able to slow down the moment and produce?
Yeah, so, you know, I focused on, you know, breathing heavy, deep breaths, and, you know, not trying to do too much, just being relaxed and just reacting instead of overreacting.
How much fun were these 3 games this week?
Really fun, tight games. You know, it's a statement that, you know, we are the New York Yankees, and to take the series from, you know, one of the other, you know, best teams in the whole league, you know, says a lot.
What did you take away from that celebration? What was that like for you?
Amazing, amazing. I turned around. Next thing I knew, I saw Wells just about to tackle me. Bobby trying to rip off my jersey. But, you know, those are moments, you know, I'll never forget.
That's the feeling overall, your first walk-off hit in the major leagues.
Yeah, I can't describe it. Just how I said, things that you dream about as a kid, and it's all unfolding, you know, in real time in front of my eyes.
Came up in a big spot in Sunday's game. Was there anything about that at bat that kind of helped you tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of baseball. You know, I'm 30 years old. Played in most leagues. Well, not in the big leagues, so I played in, you know, almost every league out there. So, you know, I understand that it's baseball. You know, I didn't come through for my team, you know, a couple of days ago last series. But baseball has its ups and downs, and today, you know, I got to be the hero. So, you know, what can I say? That's baseball.
Love what he said. He's been basically everywhere in every league, and we know how good he was in the Winter League, right, where he just got quality at bats, won the batting title there. And, Jack, just to hear what he's been through, kind of leading to that moment and being able to control his emotions and that at bat at that time.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting to hear him talk as an experienced hitter, even though he didn't have that experience at the major league level. He's telling you that I've played in independent leagues. I've played in different countries. I always was getting my at-bats and working toward a moment like this. And I want to go back to a conversation I had with him in spring training, Bob. He talked about playing independent baseball, but he needed to make more money, so he asked to be traded to another independent league team so that he could pay his rent each month in Miami. And you just think of all the things that he had to go through to be finally able to say that he's a major league player. And then all season long, he's just going to be writing a book almost. Each chapter of J.C. Escarra's story is just going to keep getting better and better. And I think that might have been the cover photo right there, even though it's only May. We'll see what else he has in store, but that's going to be a moment that he's going to have with him for the rest of his life.
And think about this, because you talked about writing the book, right, of J.C. Escarra. 3 months ago when he showed up, pitchers and catchers reporting, he had no idea if he was even going to make the team. He did. He then gets his first home run, and tonight gets his first walk-off.
The thing that he did, he could always hit. I remember talking to Nestor Cortez, who competed against him in youth baseball all the way up through high school. He said, this guy could always hit. But the thing that Escarra did is he worked very diligently on his defensive skills. And last year when the Yankees graded him out as a minor league catcher, Bob, they had him in the highest percentile with defensive metrics. So the offense was there. Once he brought the defense along with it, well, now you can carry him as a backup catcher. You can't have a backup catcher who is offense only. He's got to be able to play some defense. So Escarra never stopped working, never stopped learning, and tonight he should never stop smiling.
We got to take a break. Got a lot more coming up here on the W.B. Mason postgame as we recap this 4-3 Yankees win in 10. Big moment for Devin Williams and so many Yankees tonight. Stick around. Tonight after the postgame, stay tuned to Yes for the latest edition of Yankees Magazine and get an inside look at Fernando Cruz's visit to a Bronx public school, a deep dive on Aaron Judge's amazing start, plus a special spotlight on Luke Weaver. That's tonight immediately after we wrap up here on the postgame and stream anytime on the Gotham Sports app. Well, time for a memorable moment presented by Prevagen, made for your brain, and riders up because it was Kentucky Derby winning jockey Junior Alvarado getting the full Yankee Stadium experience tonight, just a few days after riding Sovereignty to victory. And no more down the stretch. We're going full windup, Jack will love it, from the top of the mound to fire a strike to Oswald Peraza, who then walks the ball back to Alvarado. Those two happen to share a hometown of Barquisimeto in Venezuela. That's a nice little connection for those two.
That's a great connection. Love that he went to the top of the mound. He's rocking #1 as well, and he was terrific in that race. Somebody on this set might have actually hit an exacta box on that race, but we'll save that for another show.
For those wondering, it was not me, so you have a pretty good idea who it was. Congratulations. In the meantime, congratulations to Devin Williams. Great job in that top half of the 10th inning. Strikes out 3, bases loaded, and he gets out of the jam. We saw the emotion, too. Let's hear about that with the media and Justin.
Devin, what did that roar off the mound feel like for you?
It was a big spot, you know, starting with the runner at second, getting out of that without giving up any runs. I felt like, you know, our guys were going to come through and the game was going to be over, and it was.
How were you able to do it?
Just focus, man. You know, just like I told you guys the other day, I've felt good for, you know, my last 5 outings now. I feel like I'm back where I need to be mentally, physically, you know, and just competing.
How do you describe the energy in Yankee Stadium during that inning and then especially after the strikeout?
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't really tell you. I kind of blacked out, which is a good thing. You know, I was completely locked in on what I was doing, and that's really it.
You said you're where you feel you need to be mentally. How'd you get there?
I don't really know. You know, I just feel like myself. You know, I've taken ownership of the situation, and since then I've pitched with more confidence and just continued to do that today.
Was that just the spot you were going for on Bogarts on the last pitch?
Yeah, we were going down and away.
So I see what Trent's been doing this season. It seems like every big spot he's been coming through.
I've seen this before out of him. In 2019, we were both in AA, and he kind of struggled for, I don't know, after the first month, he was hitting like 200. And then I think over the next 3 months, he raised his batting average to like 380 or something ridiculous like that, which, I mean, it's not really a surprise to me. I've always thought he was a really good hitter. So, to see him doing it and, showing what he's capable of is really cool to see.
Considering, no hits until the 7th inning, 2 big swings by Bellinger and Grisham, and the spot you had to get out of, and the execution in the bottom of the 10th. Does this feel like one of the best wins of the season?
I would definitely put it up there, They kind of broke through yesterday, and then we were quiet early today, and, they didn't quit. Max pitched a great game and kept us right in it the whole time. We were able to get the hits when we needed to.
How does it feel to be able to say, after all the ups and downs you've had now, you think that the worst is over?
I mean, I'm not going to say I'll never have a bad outing again, but, it's just coming in and taking each day by day, which I've done my entire career, is focus on that day, individually, and try and give my best effort each day. And just continue to do that, I don't look at the big picture. You stay small-minded, and that's how you stay consistent.
We've seen a lot of things there that is music to the ears of Yankees and their fans. And, Jack, one thing he said, and it sounds so simple, I feel like myself. I would say that though he threw 20 pitches tonight, walked a batter and hit a batter, bases loaded, those 3 strikeouts that he had, he looked the most comfortable that we've seen in his own skin, and the body language seemed to show that.
Yeah, I would concur with you on that, especially when we talk about the changeup. I said earlier in the show, I'm not sure he had as much confidence in the fastball tonight as the changeup, but he showed the fastball enough that when he did use the changeup, he was able to get 3 Ks on that pitch in that inning. And, Bob, for him to say that he feels like himself and he feels confident, remember, this is a closer/reliever who earlier in the season was saying nothing is working. So the fact that he thinks his pitches are working, the Yankees can use him in these kinds of situations again. We should also mention Trent Grisham and his connection. On a night where Grisham had that big 2-run homer, Grisham also gets credit from Williams for helping him develop that changeup, because when he faced him with the Milwaukee Brewers one spring training, Grisham said, I can tell the difference between your fastball and your changeup. And he ended up changing the grip on the changeup and turning into the best closer in baseball. So he always thanks Grisham for that. Tonight, they're both part of a headline with the Yankees.
Heck of teamwork. A lot of teamwork on that, no doubt about it. All right, speaking of teamwork, it's not really teamwork when it comes to the Yes Press headline. It's all Jack. And with the Yankees win, you're going to get that. Final thoughts and a look ahead to what's coming up for the Yankees next.
Dylan Cease has not a lot of hit through 6. So here is Bellinger. Looking up, see ya. Second deck, first hit, first run, 1-1 here in the Bronx.
Going to give Trent Grisham a shot.
Turning, looking, see ya. A pinch hit, 2-run home run for Grisham, and the game is tied at 3. Swing and a miss, got him on the change, and Williams is pumped up. Moments like these are the ones that kept Escar coming back. Independent League baseball. Driving an Uber to make ends meet. Making a major league team this year. Getting his first hit and his first home run. Now he wants his first walk-off. It's right there in front of him. Fly ball left field. This should get it done. Tagging Dominguez. He'll score. It's a walk-off sac fly.
Can only be happy for Escar. Some story. Some game.
What a moment for J.C. Escarra. The question now is, with the Yes Press headline, did J.C. put J.C. in the Yes Press headline? What do you got?
Well, you must have been peeking at my paper, because, of course, we have to go with him in the headline. Escarra takes Yankees for a joyride. Uberman is Superman and walk-off win.
I like that. I like that. And I love the video at the end. I got to go back to that. Just the sheer joy of your headline and the sheer joy that he experienced with his teammates. What a great moment for a guy who, again, didn't know he was going to be on a major league team 3 months ago.
I had Aaron Boone on my podcast, Yankees News and Views, before the season began. And at that moment, Bob, Ascara hadn't officially made the team, but we were talking about the best stories that they had out of spring training. And Ascara is a great human interest story because there are a lot of players who would have given up. A lot of players who would have said, baseball just wasn't meant to be for me. I got really close, but I wasn't able to cross that threshold to get to the major leagues, which, by the way, only about 23,000 men have ever done. Ascara kept persevering, kept pushing, and that's why I think when you watched him throughout spring training, he did have that smile on his face. He knew that he was pushing his way onto this Yankee roster. And a night like tonight, again, I said, just make that one of the chapters in his book.
Yeah, you could tell he just absolutely loves the game. All right, they all love the game, and they'll take a break on Thursday, so they can still love the game on an off day as they fly out to Sacramento to tee up a 3-game series against the A's. And your series probables brought to you by Nissan. In the opener on Friday, it's Will Warren against Osvaldo Bido. Saturday afternoon, Carlos Rodon against J.P. Sears. And then Sunday, Yankees have yet to announce a pitcher, so it's TBD against former Yank Luis Severino. All 3 games on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. For Will Warren, he's looking for a little bounce back, Jack. He'll be making his 8th start, still looking for only his 2nd win. And his last outing against the Rays, kind of curious. 8 strikeouts, that's the good thing, but 3 walks, couldn't get through 5.
He faced 26 batters in that game. He struck out 8 of them. You would say to yourself, that's a good ratio. He had swing and miss stuff. He was able to put some batters away. But 10 of those batters reached base, Bob, and half of them scored. Now, there were a couple of unearned runs, so his defense didn't help him. But I go back to a start he made against Cleveland earlier this year where he was in attack mode, he was aggressive, and you could see it in his body language that he was in control on the mound. He should watch what Dylan Cease and Max Fried did tonight. They dictated what was going to happen in at-bats. Now, Will Warren might not have the stuff or doesn't have the stuff yet in his career that a Fried or a Cease has, but he's got really good stuff. We just talked about those 8 strikeouts, so I think it's about a young pitcher putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
We're going to find out if he can do that on Friday night, and as you know, it's going to be Yes After Dark on Friday night, because the Yankees are in Sacramento to take on the Athletics. Our coverage begins with the pregame show at 9:30. Enjoy the off day Thursday. We will see you again on Friday night. Until then, take care.